Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I'm Dippy.
I'm Robby.
I'm dangerously stealthy.
I'm Phonze.
And we are the Dapper Ds, the only show with Schrodinger's hosts. You're not really sure whether the people on screen are hosts or guests until the very end, so stick around and find out. Today, we will be Oh, there we go. Tim in the chat. So today we are going to be kicking off a month-long Dapper D's event with only one of the Dapper D's present. Dono has a Labor Day plan with his family, which I have allowed him to go and do with one substitute, and Dadley had a family circumstance pop up this morning, which he had ulterior circumstances later on in the day that he has to take care of, so we have subbed him in for another. We wish both of them well. You will see both of them more throughout the rest of this month, but to start us off today, for ENCLAVE Month, we once again are showcasing the tabletop RPG, and along with the help of its creator, Robby Howell. So, this is going to be fun. This is going to be exciting because this is just going to be an episode very much like one you've already seen. We have two folks who are new to the game, but not so. One who is brand new to the channel. If Stealthy and Phonze, you just want to give yourselves a quick intro for the Dapper D's viewers.
I'll go first because
Yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
experienced at this.
Yes.
Hello, everybody. I am Stealthy Chaos under normal circumstances. However, whenever I get the bat signal phone call of we need an emergency Dapper D, I show up as Dangerously Stealthy. You can find me on Tuesdays, every other Tuesday, running the recently revived Strawden Coffee.
Oh yeah.
And as a player on Inquisition and and on Crossroads on this channel. So, and Dippy's been trying to get me onboarded for Enclave for months now, and it's finally happening.
And
so.
now we're actually doing it.
And now we're actually doing it.
Exactly, along with the help of the creator. And for the first time in camera and flesh, my new roommate, he will go ahead and introduce himself how he likes, and that will be how we refer to him as a guest or otherwise in the future. Go ahead.
My name's Phonze, and I'm Dippy's roommate. That's the best I got. Like, that's the best I got.
Plug some of your stuff. You do stuff. Yeah.
I mean, I've been making music since I was 15, and I'm 26. Which I might try and make a theme song for the channel. I just gotta figure it out. Yeah, prior service.
There you go.
Pretty much all. I don't want to reveal too much. The internet knows.
Of course, of course, it's perfectly fine. So we're so happy to have you on, and making his return to the channel for another episode to showcase his lovely game, Robby. If you want to give a few words about yourself.
Hello, my name is Robby Howell. I am the creator of the tabletop role-playing game Enclave. We got a second Kickstarter for it coming up this October, and I have been living and dying by my keyboard the last couple months trying to get ready for it. It's been hectic, but I'm really happy with how the game is evolving, and I'm really grateful to everyone who's supporting it. Thank you, of course, to ANIpod for doing so, as well as to my awesome Enclave community, many of whom are in chat right now. Hi, guys. Good to see you.
Indeed. Any of you Enclave players in chat, we are happy to have you. I am very quickly going to start playing a little bit of music for the viewers at home, and I can share that as well if it gets down to it. Yee! There we go. All right. Because they are one of our plugs and sponsors, I guess I'll do the sponsored segment for the Dapper Ds as well. The Dapper D. Ooh, hello. Someone followed. Tim, thank you for following. So the Dapper Ds is, of course, brought to you by W.GG. They are a lovely little energy drink that you can use to supplement your energy without a crash afterwards. It gives you the right amount of caffeine per serving so that you're not bouncing off the walls and so that you don't have a crash afterwards. They have loads of fun flavors. They have canned drinks as well. They have all kinds of packs and starter packs, mystery packs, and all of that available for you at W.GG, and you can use the code ANIpod, that's ANIPOD, for 15% off of your next purchase, even if another sale is going on. There are many different things for you to choose from, but we'll just keep it simple with, you can get 15% off anything using the code ANIpod. W.GG to give you the energy to run some Enclave. And you are also currently listening to music by Harris Heller. See the link above my head and Robby's in this occasion. Streambeats.com is one of the top libraries of DMCA free music for your streams and YouTube videos. There we go. I'm sharing my computer audio now so y'all can hear that. You are currently listening to the album I closed it, didn't I? No, I didn't. You are currently listening to the album.
That's a funky album name, Dippy. I've never heard that one before.
You are currently listening to the album Groove by Harris Heller, and you can check out all of his music for free at streambeats.com. So go check them out. Your number one library for your free DMCA free music. Stick around to the end for upcoming schedule and what else you will see from us during Enclave Month on the Dapper Ds. But for now, the spiel. Give us a follow if you like what you see. Give us a subscription if you're feeling generous. A Prime subscription gives us the money and you the ad-free experience at no cost to you with an Amazon Prime account. Give us a subscription on the YouTube channel to keep up with the VODs of all of our shows, past, present, and future. I just did the upload dump for Dapper D's and Moonlit Mist from July and August. So there were a bunch of notifications, and there's still a couple that need other people's input for you to see them. But a lot of episodes are up now. You can go check those out. And you can follow the link tree in the description of not just the stream, but the VOD as well, to see all of our other fun stuff, like the Instagram, to see updates when we go live, clips edited by Brett, memes made by Dono. You can go check out the merch store to have a small piece of the channel with you, and you can check out the fan Discord server, ANInation, where you can chat with us and all of your fellow ANIpod fans at any time, run by and managed by the lovely Stealthy. Stealthy, give them a little bit more about the server, if you'd like.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of fun stuff going in the server. I was totally not prepared for this. Thanks, Dippy. Where you can ask questions for the ANI cast and check out playlists inspired by characters and locations. Just general chatting about lovely nerdy stuff and awesome pet pictures. I run a book club. Please join my book club, where we meet towards the end of the month every month to talk over the book and discuss what we're going to be reading next. And you can also ask general questions about lovely TTRPGs, where we also featuring somewhere on there once I'm probably going to make a spot for it, ENCLAVE. Go check it out.
We will have a link to the Kickstarter pre-launch page for ENCLAVE and the ENCLAVE Discord server in the description of the VOD once it comes out. And we'll upload that very shortly after we're done here, so that you can go check out ENCLAVE's materials for yourself. And as always, one more bit. As always, we appreciate anything you do to support the channel and support what we do here, but do what you can, not what you feel like you have to. Your financial responsibility and security is more important to us than us entertaining you. There are plenty of things you can do without taking money out of your pocket, like following on Twitch and subscribing on YouTube to get our lovely faces for free, all of the core content, all the time for free. Some stuff may be put behind a paywall for those who are feeling extra generous, but you will never be deprived of the core content of the channel, of us just playing games and having fun and showcasing games like ENCLAVE. Those will always be available for free. You can also interact in the chat on Twitch and in the comments on YouTube to get our analytics up, and you can share the stream with your friends and your family so that we can get more eyes on our content to be able to do more things for more people all the time. So thank you for watching and supporting our show, and with that, let's get into some ENCLAVE. That was a lot. Oh man, usually I have Dadley or Dono to pick up some of that for me, but we're here, and today we're just going to be reintroducing you to the game of ENCLAVE. So Robby, you are the creator of the game. Tell us a little bit about the basics of what ENCLAVE is for those present who have yet to play it.
Certainly. Well, thank you very much for having us again. I really do appreciate it. And I'm very excited that we got Phonze on for a first ever tabletop role-playing game experience, if I recall correctly. Is this so, or am I lying?
Yeah.
Excellent. Nice. A good example of where to start, because ENCLAVE is a pretty good game to start with. It's very quick to pick up, very easy, very intuitive. The main thing to remember when playing ENCLAVE is to describe what you are doing and ask questions. In this game, it is a game of the imagination, as are with all tabletop games to some degree, but we are especially focused on that, given that we don't use dice. To that end, whenever you are trying to direct your character's attention, whenever you are trying to figure out where you are in the world, get a gauge of your own power, see whether something makes sense, anything like that, ask questions. That is the core engine of the game, is asking questions. Now, ENCLAVE follows common sense and storytelling logic. We don't use checks. We don't have hard metrics to roll against or anything of that nature. And as such, we go very much off what you could call the sniff test. If something makes sense, it works. And if something doesn't make sense, it doesn't work. And if something is kind of plausible, it is determined by 3 metrics. 1, how will you describe what you are doing? That's the big one. 2, what tells a better story? And 3, your extracurriculars, so to speak. All the wonderful things that make role-playing games awesome, like trying to stay in character, bigging up the rest of the group, buying into the mission, all these kind of intangibles. If I see you putting an effort in those regards, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt in those swing situations. So with all that said, the easiest way to learn is to play rather than just yapping. And so let's dive into character creation. It's really fast, and the first thing to do is to pick a class. I think you all, I mean, Dippy, you do, but you have the book, and all you got to do is pick a class from pages 10 to, what is it? 10 to 23, something like that.
Yeah, I think it's
21.
about 23 or 24.
Yeah. 10 to 21. I'd recommend going off the art. You don't have to read anything about the class. Just if it seems cool, then pick it, and we will jump in.
I, of course, have made dozens of characters for Enclave, and this process will fall on mind deaf ears. But for my two friends here, they will be creating a character in less than 20 minutes, I think is the metric that I've seen you give before for character creation.
Yep, I'd say about that.
Yeah. So, both of y'all look for a class that you like. For reference, for today's mission, I will be playing my staple character, Syriac Boudreaux, a gunslinger. And that should not stop you from picking a gunslinger. But if if you feel like you wanted to go another direction, that would be the direction to swerve from. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Unlike in a lot of tabletop role-playing games, doubling up on classes is not only not a problem in Enclave, it can be like actively quite fun. Depends on what you want, though.
Yeah.
So what are you two thinking?
Librarian.
Oh boy.
Excellent.
You're welcome.
You have an
Wanderer.
Wanderer. Awesome. Okay. With that said, we're going to dive into character creation. Character creation is on page 9. Numbered page 9 is 13 in the PDF viewer. Annoying that those two don't sync up. And after picking your class, the first thing to do is to generate your personality. Personality is a set of 3 traits, which are kind of the cornerstones of how your character behaves to give you kind of a basis for their decision-making and role-playing. Of note, role-playing in Enclave is not something we are like wildly strict about, but the more you try, the more I can reward you in other ways. Now, personality is looks kind of daunting because it's about stats and things like that, but I'll simplify it. You only have to make one decision, because out of those 3 personality traits, 2 of them are spoken for by your class. The librarian, for example, all classes specialize with 2 stats, and the librarian, for example, specializes with intelligence and spirit. And as such, you would get the intelligence trait of opinionated, you can see on the little chart at the bottom of that page, and spirit, compassionate. So you'd get those too. Similarly, the wanderer specializes with luck and vitality. And so you would get the luck trait of carefree and the vitality trait of indulgent. The third trait, you can each pick from whatever you want from that list.
the list of 12 stats that are provided by the game.
Yep. The 12 stats each correlate to a trait, and if you don't like that trait, there's a couple of like alternatives listed after it.
Now, we did this the first time that you were on, but I feel like it must be reiterated. Robbie, 12 stats in a game, like in a tabletop role-playing game?
Yeah, it seems like a lot, doesn't it?
In D&D, you have 6. In other systems, a lot of people have kind of narrowed it down to the 6 that you see very commonly, like strength, dexterity, con, charisma, wisdom, intelligence. But Enclave with 12 stats, delve a little bit into that.
Oh yeah. Well, basic idea is that you don't have to worry about them most of the time. The stats in Enclave are wildly intuitive. And even ones, so the ones that are real life equivalents, you just have to worry about them being like a common sense heuristic for yourself. And the ones that aren't real world equivalents, like the luck stat, for example, those, you can think of them almost like a tool that you can access. And regardless of how much of you have in that stat, it will give you access to this storytelling tool that you can use to get the game more in your favor. You obviously have access to all 12 stats, but you only really have to care about a couple of them at a time. What are you two thinking for personality?
Luck.
Yep,
So,
luck trait of carefree. Awesome. You can put down carefree as your third. Phonze, what are you thinking?
Skill.
Awesome. The skill trait of confident. Next up is stats. Speaking of which, stats in Enclave are measured using pluses. Each plus is a major increment of benefit. If you have baseline in a stat, you're not crap. You're just normal in that regard. If you have 1 plus in a stat, you're exceptional. 2 pluses is incredible, and 3 pluses is borderline supernatural by real world standards. The stuff that like folklore, but not necessarily myth, is made of. And to that end, you start with 6 pluses to distribute, but 4 of those are already spoken for, so you only have to make 2 decisions. Here's how it goes. The librarian specializes, again, with 2 stats, intelligence and spirit. It specializes with intelligence more than it specializes with spirit, and as such, you will start with 2 pluses in intelligence and 1 in spirit. Then, since you picked the luck trait of Carefree, you get a plus to that as well. So 2 pluses in intelligence, 1 in spirit, 1 in luck, and then those last 2 you get to distribute anywhere. A stat you already have pluses in, a stat you don't have pluses in, wherever you would like. You just cannot bring any stat above 3. Not yet, at least. On the other hand, for our Wanderer, the Wanderer specializes with luck first and foremost, so you get 2 pluses in luck. You would then get 1 plus in vitality, the Wanderer's secondary specialty. And then you would also get 1 plus in skill, the stat of the trait you chose. And then those last 2 can go anywhere. I can give summaries of stats that are not immediately obvious. There's some that are kind of counterintuitive, but for the most part, they do very much what they say on the tin. And if you'd like some more information about them, then in page 5, numbered page 5, page 9 of the PDF viewer, you can see a little chart that goes into the stats in a bit more detail, but I'm also happy to explain them myself. Do you guys have questions, or is this making sense so far?
Making sense so far.
Any notes or questions from you, Phonze?
A lot. This is my first ever like tabletop game, so I'm just like,
Oh yeah, it's a lot. Just go by your gut. You'll get there. And if you want, I can give you more information about stuff too.
So I have 2 pluses left, right?
Yep, 2 pluses.
They're all okay. Okay.
Yep. So you could go like more into luck. You could bring luck to 3. You could bring your skill to 3, even if you wanted to go into that. You could put into a different stat, like I don't know, reflex or vigor or might or something.
Should I be filling out a character sheet?
You can do a notepad, Doc. Like you can make it super.
Well, no,
I have a Google Doc open.
Dippy sent me an example thing.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say that like whatever character sheet format is most intuitive to you, just do it. As like they're not too complicated, and so long as you know what you're looking at, you're fine.
Yes. I, for example, have, as Phonze just elucidated, made character sheets using Google Docs, but there are other people who have done them on like scratch pieces of paper. I know the very first version of Syriac was on a scratch piece of paper, and there are character sheets included with the book, if I remember correctly. Like at the very end of the book, I think there's a character sheet or 2 available.
There's a
Yeah, I
link
got a
one,
sample
and
at the end.
there's an example.
There's an example character sheet and a template at the back of the book if you buy the book. By the way, since the last time we ran an Enclave episode, I have purchased the book. I know that.
Thank you for supporting the game.
Yeah, I know that some Enclave people were questioning how I was doing everything I was doing without a book for as long as I did, and I remedied that by literally traveling up to Connecticut and supporting the game on their dollar, which was very generous of you and Lee, and I still appreciate that. That was a very fun weekend.
Of course, man. It was fun. Really fun time.
What? You got a look of confusion there.
Yeah, I was like, where's the stats I already have? They're right below the name of the class.
Yeah. There you go. So
I have 2 intelligence, 1 in spirit, and then 2 in lucky. Is that
and then you have 1, 2. You have 1 more left because you have 6 total pluses you start with.
So you can put a
so you can throw another in.
Two,
You can throw another in spirit. You can do another in luck.
I'm doing another in spirit, so I got 2, 2, 2.
There you
Easy.
go.
Awesome. And Phonze, you need a little more time, or are you good?
I'm just going. I'm honestly like kind of lost. I'm like, what? There's a lot. This
Oh
is my
yeah,
first
it
time.
absolutely is. Well, my first question to you would be, what sort of character do you want to play? Are you interested in playing a character who is on the social side, who is on the sneaky side, who is on the strong arm side? Like, give me an idea of your vision.
Well, definitely a social person because I want him to not be me because I'm actually an introvert. So I'd like to be like have my character be like this guy who's he's the wanderer, like the song by Dion, the Wanderer, and he's a womanizer, but he's not a womanizer. He's a anybodyizer.
Well, in that case, my biggest suggestion to you would be to consider the spirit or vitality stats. Spirit is a stat of empathy that lets you pick out what people are feeling. And vitality is a stat of attention that lets you grab people's attention as well as keep people's focus on you, as well as even allows you to heal people through major character moments with them. Now, if you wanted to go in a slightly more angular direction, reflex can help because it's a stat of stealth, and sneaking around is something that often happens in such philandering situations. Intelligence could help to get a plan going. Luck never hurts. Even your skill stat is in the kind of the right direction. I could see that being relevant, but I'd say if you're going for a more social angle, probably spirit and vitality are your best bets.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm having to open 2 copies of the PDF because I'm having to constantly go up and down, scroll up and down, up and down. I'm just like, I gotta stop.
Well, while we are waiting, I'll jump over to Stealthy's next step, which is your gear. Each class has 2 rosters of gear on the second page of the class. There's the default roster and the elective roster. The default roster, you start with all of them, and the elective roster, you get to pick one of them. Class gear in Enclave is supernaturally better than a mundane equivalent and often has very cool, like, extra magical effects stapled onto it. And so as a librarian, you would have access to the scholarly raiment, the reading glasses, the book bag, and then either you could pick one of the following 3, the quill, pen, scanner, or memos.
So in the interim here, while a little bit of character creation is going on, this month worth of events is going to showcase a couple of people running, yourself for this first one, but I'm going to be running next week. The week after that, we'll have Lee on, and Lee will run a game. Dadley will run his first game on the 22nd, and the whole idea behind us showcasing this game again is because of the next edition of the game. If you wanted to talk a little bit about the next edition of the game while they're getting stuff figured out, feel free.
I'd love to, but before I do so, just to check in with you guys.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you guys good with your current step? You ready to move on to the next step, or do you need a little more time?
You guys can just keep her going, but
figured out what
stealth is good. Yeah, just keep going. I'm better with like reading and like making my character that way versus like hearing someone talk.
Sure. Yeah. Let me know when if you need a hand with anything. Well, in that case, Stealthy, your next step is abilities, which is nice and easy because you have all 3 of them. No questions, no choices to make. You just have them. And as such, your last step is going to be your character's name, appearance, and background. Appearance and background matter a lot in Enclave. They are very important. However, you can also keep them very simple. You can start your appearance and background as like a sentence each, maybe even less, and you are allowed to define new elements of your appearance and background as you play, so long as they make sense. You commit to them from then on, and they are not too convenient in the moment. Note that Enclave is genre and setting agnostic. Your character can come from any background you want. You get to, effectively, this is your own little world building exercise that you get to start off whenever you create your own character. However, you can keep it wildly simple, because otherwise I know decision paralysis can eat you alive if you're trying to do a whole world building from scratch. So keep it wildly simple to start and let it build naturally as you play.
Sounds like a plan.
Phonze, any other thoughts on stats, or are you taking a little read through and seeing what you can see?
Yeah, I'm definitely reading. I'm starting to understand it now.
Awesome.
Mhm.
In that case, to explain a little bit about the upcoming Kickstarter is going to be doing two things. One, it's going to be relaunching the core book, the one that we're reading right now, Advent. That's going to be launching Advent V2, which is going to have updated art, updated graphics, tons of input from the community, changing some of the details about the game, balance changes, the like. In addition, it is also going to be debuting Enclave's first major expansion. It's called Aspirant. It repeats nothing from Advent, so the core rulebook is still the entry point into the game, and it just adds new stuff, and it multiplies the game's content vastly. Aspirant is actually going to be bigger than Advent pretty substantially, maybe even twice as big. And so there's a lot to look forward to, and there's going to be a lot of really cool stuff coming in that.
Yeah, there are a lot of things to get excited about for that for all kinds of people who play the game. I know that having extra class options is going to be even more decision paralysis for some people, but just opening up an even bigger library for others.
Oh yeah. That's why we're starting with Advent. Like, you start with the simple version of the game that's like super easy to jump into, and then we hit you with all the crazy stuff in the expansion.
Exactly. There are going to be 6 new classes in the new edition. Pick your favorite and tell the audience about that one of the 6 that are going to be added in Aspirant. Because,
oh yeah. There's really only one that I can talk about, which is the Vessel, because it's the one that's been most popular on the Discord with our spoilers, right? The Vessel is a class that is possessed by an evil spirit, and their abilities consist of the spirit escaping and wreaking havoc upon the world before they can kind of recapture it and contain it. It's a class that's kind of at war with itself and poses a severe threat to its teammates while also being a massively effective team player. Really interesting class, very squishy, very risky, great social, great combat.
Yeah, I myself have not had the opportunity to play a vessel yet, but I have played alongside several vessels that were very well made, well put together, and are, despite the fact that they are toiling with themselves, but it's just, I fell in love with this game very quickly after getting introduced to it. When I reached out to you the first time that I wanted to showcase it. And so much so to the point that I am now a figure in the server, which I still greatly appreciate and am astounded by on a weekly basis. That it's just, I've fallen this hard this quick, but
well, it's great to have you, man. We love having you in it.
The more people that I can get from ANIpod into this game, the better. And these two are a wonderful start. Speaking of which,
awesome. Stealthy, you good on name, appearance, background?
Almost there.
No problem. Phonze, how are you doing on stats?
I got those done. I'm on gear.
Awesome. Can I get your stats real quick? What you picked?
2 are in luck. I got, and then the rest of them are in will, spirit, might, and vitality.
Okay, 1 each in will, spirit, might, vitality. Nice rounded build. Great. And then for gear, again, you have all of your default gear, and you can pick 1 elective piece. Nice. If you need more time for that, that's totally fine.
And Robby, because I know this is a general question for most people, is it generally humans?
Humans are assumed, but you do not have to play a human. You can play literally. Yeah, Dippy is a great example. You can play not just traditional kind of fantasy non-human species. You can play pretty much anything in Enclave. But again, remember, it has to be bounded by common sense, and there is kind of an understanding of reasonable upsides and downsides. My favorite example is if someone comes to me and they say, "Can I play an elf?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, of course you can." What are your elves like? Well, they're good at everything. Well, I'm afraid that that's not really reasonable. So what you want to do is you want to have non-human physiognomy either explained through stats. So if you're playing an elf, maybe your elf has like really high skill or something like that and has high reflex. Or if something can't be explained by stats, you want to have kind of proportionate upsides and downsides. My favorite example is, let's say you have a character or a non-human who's like, "Oh, I should have really good hearing." That's not something you can purely explain through a stat. Yes, sensory is a part of it, but that's all the senses. What about just hearing? In that case, what you want to do is say, okay, I have really good hearing, but what's a fair downside? Maybe I'm really sensitive to loud noises. Bam. Yeah, suddenly it's fair. And besides that, everything else about non-humans plays purely intuitively, and the more you can kind of lean into them, especially their downsides during play, the more I can give you upsides in the wiggle room.
For
Wonderful.
example, my character that I am playing today and my iconic character that from the server, Syriac, is a rabbit folk, but he has no outright mechanical upside or downside to him that isn't explained by the stat spread that I gave him. When I was originally coming up with the concept of Syriac, Robby was walking me through this process just like he's walking y'all through now, and I went, does he have to be a human? And he was like, no. And I was like, I wonder how I could play with this. And I thought that a rabbit folk might have a good mechanical upside downside to him, but then it was like, oh wait, I just have to dump it into these stats. Like, the obvious one being Syriac has 2 rabbit's feet attached to him at all times. He has 5 luck as a result. And that is just like, it was recently highlighted in the Enclave newsletter Pingout. If you join the server, you'll get access to those as well. But overall, the manifold is infinite, so the amount of characters you can create, or I guess not the amount of characters you can create, but the types of characters you can create are infinite as well. So it's like,
Okay, great. My appearance and my everything just got a lot simpler.
there you go.
Dippy will recognize this.
Oh dear. Oh no. Are you porting?
I'm not porting. Kind of.
Oh yeah. Okay. There you go. Wonderful. That's great. What else is there to say? I mean, we're at a point now that like finishing up soon. If there was just anything else, you wanted to touch on, Rob.
Well, before I do so, Phonze, you good on gear? What step are you on at this point?
I was going with a whole different class, so I'm basically back at step 1, but I'm about to start gear 2. I'm just kind of copying from the manual.
Sure. What are you pivoted to?
The Wanderer. I mean, the satchel, walking stick, waypoints.
Yep.
And then elective gear, thinking the fiddle, because I'm a musician.
Perfect. Excellent. And from here, you can note that you have all 3 of the listed abilities, no decisions to make. And the last thing to do is your character's name, appearance, and background. Again, Enclave is a genre-agnostic game. There is not a set world building that you need to fit your character into. They come from their own little corner of this infinite world, and they're brought together with other people from lands they've never heard of before or conceived of before, and thrown into a completely new setting that none of them knows either. And as such, when you're coming up with your character's appearance and background, it is entirely your call what time frame you want them to be from, what culture, what themes. That is all up to you. But again, you can keep it wildly simple, like a sentence or less for each. And then as you play, you can define new stuff so long as it makes sense.
It really is a build-as-you-go game. Like, Syriac was originally just, he's a rabbit from a bayou who is a hitman by trade but believes in an Old Testament-style god. And from there, he has experienced outside of the game. These were not even missions that he played. Outside of that, he has experienced like a crashing train that passes through multiple parts of the manifold. He is like moved out of his old house and into a new one. He's met like a couple of other characters I've made from the same corner of the manifold that he comes from. There are towns, there are cities, all just built into his background from just decisions I made after the fact. Like, do you have any folks back home? Yeah, I have like a ma and a pa and a like kind of thing. It's great for people who build worlds like myself. I run a D&D campaign on the channel that is, I built this world and these characters are running through it. Like there is a main plot point to be followed, but it's more I built the world first. And this game really taps into the creative aspect of a person who just wants to, like, who looks at D&D and goes, this is like a lot of stuff to think about going into this world. Like, there's a whole world called the Sword Coast. What if I don't want to come from the Sword Coast? I just a lot of that is so simplified and so, like, it really is so easy to just fall into Enclave by doing whatever you want to do, rather than being stuck in, like, I'm trying to think of any other example. Like, the world of Call of Cthulhu is very, very defined and specific, and the world of Monster of the Week is very defined and specific, but Enclave is just so open. And that's one thing that I love about it.
Sure. Well, and along those lines, even if you're not the sort to want to make a gigantic ass world, you could literally just say, what's my background? I was a knight. Bam, done. Like, you can keep it super simple as well.
Exactly, yeah.
Something I can also note briefly is, while you guys are finishing up, I can give you the premise of the game, which is pretty straightforward. You guys, all player characters, are agents of the Enclave, which is a shadowy, enigmatic organization at the heart of the infinite world of Manifold. It is known to almost no one, and yet is omnipresent, subtly omnipresent, all throughout this infinite world. And every time you play, the Enclave is sending your characters out on a mission in its name. This will send you all across Manifold to places you've never been before. And once you are sent on this mission, all you have to do is accomplish that task, and then at the end, succeed or fail, you're back to HQ. End. As such, Enclave is played in one-shots. This is maybe a term Phonze hasn't heard before, but that means that each time you play is a self-contained story, and you don't have to get the same group together to keep the story going time after time after time, which is a humongous upside. Makes scheduling a billion times easier. And also makes so that you don't have to commit to hours and hours of your life in order to try the game.
Exactly.
Okay. In terms of your character's name, appearance, background, Phonze, what do you got?
For name, I have Verdo Gugila.
Ooh.
That's all I got for right now. I just got to appearance.
Perfectly fine. And Stealthy, I saw what you posted in chat, but for everyone else's purposes, could you briefly introduce your character?
So my character's name is Lippers. They are a 5 foot tall fox. General, what you normally would think of whenever you think of a fox: orange fur, brown ears, striping on the tail, some long brown furry fringe, kind of sweeping over one eye, gold glasses, a very scholarly looking cardigan over a vest with a purple tie going on there. Just kind of your average city slicker. Really grew up keeping to themselves, and spent a lot of time in the library, and decided to make that their life's goal, was to be a librarian.
Yep, that is literally all you need. Something else I'm going to ask you for while we're waiting for Phonze to finish up is what is called focus words. When we create sessions in Enclave, we traditionally do them, I mean, I do them on the spot, but even for people who are relatively new to the game, you can do it quite quickly, and you do it tailor-made to the capacities of the group you are playing with. I'm going to be creating you guys a session on the spot based on input directly from you in the form of focus words. Focus words are any word or short phrase that you give to me as inspiration to create your mission. These can be literally anything, any word or short phrase. The only thing I will say is think about what tone you're looking for. If you want a serious mission and you give me a goofy ass focus word, you are getting a goofy ass mission. Along those lines, Dippy, can you demonstrate with a focus word?
Sure. I have a list of focus words that I have thought of but haven't used yet. And I think for the purposes of these are newer circumstances, I will go with, oh man, I will go with, oh man, I realize that some of these are I'll go with that one, sure, because it's been staring me in the face ever since I thought of it. Focus phrase is going to be stop observing my art or I'll die.
Okay. And Stealthy, can you give me a focus word? Any word or short phrase. Does not have to
Troublemaker.
fit at all with what Dippy said. I'm sorry, what was that?
Troublemaker.
Lovely.
Hmm.
And lastly, Phonze, could you give me a focus word? Any word or short phrase whatsoever. Does not have to be connected to anything the other two have said, your character, or anything else.
So it could be just a word.
Yep.
Water.
Great. That's a great focus word.
Water. Fire. Air. No.
Okay.
Everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
Everything changed. So, with character creation being kind of set and focused here, what else is there to say about Enclave as a system that hasn't already been said?
I don't know if we necessarily need to go into a ton of detail until afterwards, but I think
we don't. But we have 15 minutes before our next ad break, so.
Oh, cool.
Or
well,
what I could do, I actually could run the ad early, into the pre-rolls would be cut early. So that'll come whenever. Yeah.
I'd say may as well, but let's just wait to hear what Phonze comes up with for character.
Yeah, of course.
Nice. Do you have an idea of appearance and background at this point, or do you need a little more time?
For me,
yeah,
my character, he's gonna be a cyborg, like half man, half machine.
Cool. And do you have an idea of background, like how he became a cyborg or similar?
Well, so far he's half man, half machine from the year 22,000 on a distant planet ravaged by war, famine, disease, whatnot, and he basically was in that war, and then a company rose from the ashes of that war and proceeded to make everyone into having cybernetic stuff, becoming cyborgs. But what happened is a rogue portal teleported him out of there, and then that portal short-circuited all of his machinery in his body. So now he's purely a human with metal inside of him. That's not killing him. It's just there.
That's just rough. Oh, that's cool. That's a great idea. I like the idea a lot. I will tell you right now, I have never seen a Wanderer like that before. So nicely done.
It's pretty good.
Okay, in that case, if you want to do your ad roll, Dippy, when you come back, I should have the mission ready to go.
I think we might be able to do that, yeah. So, for those of you watching, stick around. We're going to have a short ad break, and by the time we come back, we will be ready to run the mission. So, don't go anywhere. We will be right back after this. Woohoo! Hello, everybody, and welcome back. So, in the time that you have been on break, Robby has made a mission, and we are going to play it in the very near future. So, I don't have anything else for us if no one else does.
Excellent. In that case, I can dive in. So in Enclave, traditionally we begin with a mission statement where the Enclave itself, this great organization, sends your characters the task that they are being sent to achieve. You then have a moment to ask questions about it out of character. But all the information we go over in mission statement, including the Q&A, is known in character to all of you guys. We just do it out of character to keep it fast. From there, we will often do something called assembly, where your characters get to meet each other in person before working together, safe and sound at Enclave HQ. We're going to skip that today for the interests of time. And so because of that, your characters will know who they're working with. They'll have been given like a briefing. Expect this dude and this dude, right? But they will never have met them before, and it'll be a relatively new experience for them to see these people. Once you guys are ready, then we are going to go to your characters will be sent onto the mission. They will be teleported there directly, no travel time whatsoever, from Enclave HQ. You do the mission, and then at the end of the mission, succeed or fail, your character will feel their Enclave badge ping, like magically resonate. Touch your badge, teleport off the mission. We are done. Now, of note, we have permadeath in Enclave. However, if your character can make it off mission, even if they are wildly messed up, even if they've lost everything, they are fully healed if they can escape. However, if you cannot teleport out in time, permadeath. Death is not wildly common in Enclave, but it does happen. With that said, let's jump into your mission statement. Again, be ready to ask questions. I'm going to give you a quick summary. You guys are being sent to a secluded reflecting pool in the middle of a dense forest. This is the sort of place that, even though the surrounding area is not like primitive, you could think of it like Victorian era tech level. This little pool has not been found or touched for probably decades, if not longer. That said, a small group of youths, kind of in their late teens to early 20s, recently came across it, and it was attributed to the deaths of one of their number. They do not know how. And while the rest of their homes kind of mourned the loss and didn't really question it too much, because strange things can happen in the woods, someone could wander off and get nailed. This group of young folk are convinced that the lake, this little reflecting pool itself, is at fault. And they have returned to it with poison in order to try to kill whatever is in it. Little do they know, however, that there is something in the lake, and it is way more dangerous than they could have imagined, and is dangerous in a way they could not have imagined. They are trapped at the lake, and it is your job to free them. There are 5 of them, and you lose the mission if more than 2 die. So again, 5 youths who have brought poison to a lake to take revenge for a fallen friend. They are now trapped at the lake, and you need to rescue at least 3 of them. Obviously, preferably all. In terms of collateral damage, the Enclave has absolutely no problem with you actually poisoning the lake or doing anything of that nature. You can burn down the damn forests if you want, but that may not be productive. So if you can find a way to make it productive, do it. Let's see, anything else? The only other thing I will note is that while the youths at the lake have almost no understanding of what's in the lake itself, the Enclave has similarly almost none. You will have very little information of what you're dealing with before going into the mission, besides the fact that there is in fact something, and it is in fact wildly dangerous. The youths at the lake are just starting to realize how much danger they're in, and they're just starting to realize that they are trapped. The reason for that, however, you will not be able to find out until you arrive. Questions?
Free the 5 youths trapped at secluded reflecting lake. Time of day and weather is always a good one.
Excellent. It is precisely noon. Perfect clear sky day.
Relevant magic and tech level?
Tech levels are again approximately Victorian. These youths are wealthy and were vacationing together with their families. Magic is not unheard of here, but it's typically the sort of thing that is on the peripheries of society. You can think of it like folklore is actually real sort of magic, where vanishingly few people actually see it or interact with it, and those who do usually don't have a good time, and it's a cautionary thing.
Noted.
Other questions?
You said failure if more than 2 do not escape or die in the process.
Yep.
Would animal folk such as ourselves be wildly out of place?
there is already something supernatural going on here. And so while you will be seen as wildly strange and probably as hallucinations at the very first, you will not be unprecedented.
Mm.
I would think especially a cyborg.
All of you will be kind of freakish and odd to kind of similar degrees. In fact, this is like, again, the tech level is to the point where they are just starting to conceive of the idea of like humans and machines kind of being on a similar playing field.
Mhm.
And so it would be maybe something that they'd heard of or conceived of or read about once before. But that is kind of the case for all of you. You are all strange and alien to them.
Mhm. As one would expect. Well, I don't
I
believe
am
I have...
so sorry. I will be right back. I have to go investigate a mysterious noise.
The mysterious noise. Well,
Okay.
unfortunately, there's not one of those at the reflecting pool.
Good.
So when you say tech level, that means like how technologically advanced.
Yes, this
They are?
corner of
Okay.
Manifold is precisely right. So, again, you can think roughly like Victorian era, and as such, even though this is like a day out in the woods, they're all wearing like quite formal outfits, like heavy, beautiful, rather elaborate clothing.
So it's like Renaissance era clothing.
It would be more sophisticated than that. If you think about
Okay.
like Sherlock Holmes period.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
They brought poison to the lake because they thought something was in the lake and they were going to poison it. How?
Yep.
Do we,
in
do,
revenge
do we
for the
have,
death of a friend.
for the death of one of them. Do we know how they are? Are they trapped like in the? How do I describe it? Are
I
they
was
trapped
gonna
like
say, are
in
they-
the reflection of the lake, or are they trapped just like there's like something keeping them from leaving the shores, the immediate shores of
That
the
is
lake?
actually not known. That's something you will have to determine upon arrival.
Awesome. But we know
Great.
that they're trapped.
Yeah.
Just not how. That's fine. No, that's fine. What did you say your character's name was again, Phonze?
Verdo Gugila.
Verdo Sheila.
Gugila is spelled
G-U-G-I-L-A?
G-U-J-I-L-A. Yes.
G-U-J-I-L-A. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
V-E-R-D-O?
Yes, sir.
Verdo Gugila. There you go. Awesome. They come back from investigating the mysterious noise and find...
Somebody hit my house with a golf ball.
Oh!
Bastards.
It's the use in the reflecting lake.
Okay.
They're being mischievous.
In that case, if you have no further questions,
I don't believe so.
It just sounds like we have to do a lot of investigating to find out more information.
If only
that's going
we
to be
had
part of it for
someone-
sure.
If only we had
Um,
someone who can gather a lot of information really quickly.
In that case, let us move to the mission. Each of your characters teleport from their various corners of Manifold, brought by their badge to Enclave HQ, a vast building decorated only in shades of gray. It is grand, it is beautiful, somewhere between Sauric Gothic architecture and kind of sleek neo-futurism. And each of you is led by a faceless attendant through its labyrinthine halls, each to a small dark room with a single gleaming pad on the ground. Each of you is prompted by a disembodied voice. Agent, please take your place atop the telepad. And after doing so, you would feel a tingling in your feet that slowly rises up your legs, leaving them as though they had fallen asleep when it reaches your hips. When the tingling passes your stomachs, your guts, or what's left of them, churn, and then you no longer feel them. When it passes your heart, it flutters, and then you no longer feel its beat. And then when the tingling passes your eyes, your vision explodes into ribbons of color. There is a buzzing in your ears. The world falls away, and there is nothing. But as quickly as the disorienting situation or sensation came, it leaves, and you find yourselves in a beautiful, picturesque little clearing with the reflecting pool in front of you. It's not perfectly circular, and there are little stepping stones in it here and there, but it is quite deep, though it is not particularly large. It's small enough that you could get a stone across it with a relatively weak overhand toss. There's trees all around. There's water lilies bobbing in a few corners. There's bird song off in the trees. And there's the gentle boughs of weeping willows kind of dancing down over the water level. But also, you can see that there are two people by the waterside who are looking into it. Their posture is tense, and you can visibly see them shivering. Both of them are young men. Both of them are wearing formal kind of outdoor wear. And you can see that one of them has what looks like a canister of some kind by his side that now hangs kind of limply in his hands. You also would hear kind of soft, panicked whispering from kind of past these two young men off in the trees. Syriac can pick out a good deal more of it. People asking, what's going on? People asking, are you okay? People asking, get away from the water. Why aren't you moving? Immediate actions upon arrival. I will ask for you to briefly summarize your character's appearance, Dippy, because we've heard the other two, before taking your first actions. Syriac, what are you going to do?
Syriac is a short and stout rabbit folk, little bit of scruffy brown fur all over, with a white chest puff and long rabbit ears folded underneath a crimson leather red hat, a leather crimson red hat, and a leather crimson red duster jacket with a green and white other fittings on his person, and a sort of crucifix necklace and a bibble upon his belt, and a gun in his hand. He will kind of note the disparity of, there's always been a meeting room. Why is there no meeting room today? But I guess it's the urgency of the job. Before looking around for not just his allies, but if he has any, but at the people that he hears, on the periphery. He's gonna, if he can see anyone on the periphery.
He cannot.
Away. Oh,
They are buried in the trees, which currently obstruct his vision.
ah, okay.
From where the two young men are, if they looked over their shoulders, they could see them easily, but from where you are, you cannot.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but I can hear them, and I'm just like, well then, suppose there's no time to lose, and I just will hop over and see if I can get a general glance at the fellas that are looking at the water.
Certainly. Now, you would also, of course, see your allies, and let's hear a little bit about what they would be doing. First of all, let's jump over to Libris. You would obviously see Syriac, you would obviously see Virdo, and you'd see the scene that I had just described. Actions that Libris would like to take upon porting in.
This is the first time that Libris has had this lovely experience as they clutch their journal that they grabbed on running out once finally getting the summons. Kind of clutches it gently to their chest as they start peering around a bit. Well, this is all quite interesting. As they start whip out their pen and start writing furiously of everything that they're seeing as they clock. I'm sorry, what's your character's name again, Dippy? Can you put it in the Zoom chat?
Yeah.
Yep.
It is Syriac, Cyriaquue, Syriac. And he is, there you go.
Thank you. If Syriac is already starting to move, not really knowing what else to do, they're like, they look like they know what they're doing, and immediately start following Syriac and go, so exactly why are we here and what are we doing?
Yeah. Someone needs, you need a bell, you know that? Looking and seeing a foxfolk.
I've been told that before.
Looking and seeing a foxfolk like, wait a minute, you don't know my friend, do you? Are you related to them? Who knows?
I don't
Not the
get
time.
out much.
Not the time to figure out. What was your question again? I'm so sorry. See, he was caught very off guard.
Oh, well, as you could see, I assume we're here for the fumbles with badge. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm something of a gunslinger. I can shoot things real good, but I don't really have to. In fact,
how quaint.
there are quite a few missions I've done that I haven't fired a single shot once. What about you? You looks at journal, looks back up. Wait, I know this. You wouldn't happen to work in a library, would you?
How could you have ever guessed?
I figured I had about 5 or 6 options. And he looks and goes, I don't suppose you would have any idea about where we are outside of what we've already been told. Looking around your person for the usual affects of an agent of your stature.
Sniffs. Well, takes a general look around at all of them and goes, I think that might be the problem, or at least the start.
Looking at the reflecting pool again. How calm, how placid is the water in the pool?
The water is so perfectly calm that it looks like glass. There is even a little waterfall, like no higher than Syriac's nose from that to the waterfall to the water level. And even as the waterfall spills in, it leaves no bubbles, makes no ripples, and the water itself comes down in a smooth sheet. Before we go further, however, Virdo, first actions upon porting in and seeing the scene around you.
Well, thing is Virdo, he's from the year 22,000.
Oh, yeah.
And at that time, all animals are extinct.
Oh, yeah.
No animals exist. And he is the result of a war that happened, and a private company brought him back to life, inserted machine mechanics into him, and now he's here. So he's gonna teleport in and basically be like,
where am I?
Oh my god.
What is this place? What are these?
he'd be wondering about his party mates because he's never seen anything close to that before.
Has he seen a tree or grass?
No.
Exactly. So this is the most alien place he could have possibly appeared in. Does he find it? Does he find it like creepy, pretty? What?
I don't like this place.
He doesn't like it.
Sounds about right. And as he is looking about as well, something else that I could note specifically for his purposes is that the bird song is rather loud. And there's a lot of birds here as well, which is another thing I'm guessing he's not used to whatsoever, just being bombarded by noise that isn't mechanical or is not the whirring of a generator of some kind. Because of that, other immediate actions that Virdo would like to take.
I mean, he does notice the lake, and he's not short. He's like 6'5".
Oh yeah, big guy.
He's a tall dude. And with the cybernetic abilities and stuff, he did gain like another 2 inches, so he's like 6'7" now.
Yep.
But he kind of can see through the trees a little bit, and just kind of takes note of everything that's around him, and just kind of ponders what's going on.
Certainly. As he is doing so, even if maybe he's not experienced water in a natural pool before, he certainly knows what a liquid is. And because of that, as he is observing, he would also notice the absolute absence of any ripple, any bubble, any disturbance on the water's surface, including very unnaturally from the waterfall. before we go further, jumping back over to Libris and Syriac,
Mhm.
follow-ups from you two, especially from Libris, if any actions they wanted to take.
Libris is kind of just trying to figure out how to very impulsive and very excited to be here, and go ahead and tucks the journal into their cardigan as they move past Syriac and they scurry up next to everyone, staring at the water, and go, and then turns to the closest person. So what are we looking at?
As you are looking into the water, two things of note. You do not see your reflection. Second of all, you do not see either of their reflections. And looking at them, they're both staring down, unblinking. They are trembling. And you can see them like they clearly know you're there, but they're not turning their eyes away. And you hear one of them whisper to you very, very softly, "Please do not break the water surface. Please, please."
Well, now, what might the reason be for that, friendo? Kind of going up and, like, putting a hand on their shoulder, just, like, leaning up against them in that,
Yep.
like, looking at them, kind of tracking their eye line and seeing what is going on.
Yep. They are looking, as Syriac looks, they are looking to where their reflection should be.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt about that. However, you would also hear coming up behind you on the like soft grasses of the clearing, and you can see that the other three from the trees have come rushing out. They are staring wide-eyed and slack-jawed at both Syriac and Libris, at least for the moment, oblivious to the danger that they had been like whisperingly discussing with the two by the lake. And you can see that there's two young ladies and one young man, and as they're kind of hurrying up, they kind of stop without getting too close to you and just stare. Do you
So
belong
they're
to
in
the
a
lake?
they're in a trance of some sort.
Looking
What
at
sounds
them,
like.
it could be a trance, but they also do, even if they're tense, wildly tense, they seem lucid to some degree. They did respond to Syriac, even if it was not like the question. They respond to Libris rather, even if it was not the question that was asked to them, right? And as the three run up, the young man among them says, "Are you of the lake? Have we disturbed your home?"
Thinks very briefly about fucking with these people and sets it aside for the purposes of the mission. And just goes, no, my friend, we're actually here to see if we can save you fine people. Although it doesn't look like the three of you need saving. Looking at them, like, just having rushed up again from behind them and was like, it. So, if you don't mind my reiterating of a question that was not answered of these two, why would we not want to be disturbing the surface of the water?
They frown, and one of the young ladies says, "Go ahead, it's not my issue with it. We were going to do it ourselves. We were going to put..." She gestures to the canister that's at the young man's side. "There's something foul in these waters. We wish to put an end to it."
Well, not to rain on your parade, but I believe the two of them would think otherwise.
Libris, you had a thing?
Well, Libera's just gonna quip. Well, aren't there something foul in every water?
And as you say this, the young man kind of like slowly comes over and kind of puts a tentative hand on one of the other two's shoulders. They tense up immediately. And he says, "It's you can step away now." There isn't a response to that. and you see that his eyes slide down towards the canister as though he has half a mind to just kind of upend it into the water. Before,
No,
yep.
I was going to say, if it looks like he's about to dump that canister into the water, I would be making an effort to stop that. But if it's just a thought, then I would just
Seems like just a thought for now, at least.
I'll be keeping an eye then.
Before we go further, Verdo, actions you would like to take. He's obviously having kind of an existential moment over on the far side of the lake. It's not fully out of sight, but you would only be seen if someone from the other group like looked in your direction. You know, you're not peripheral.
Okay, so I'm pretty far away. Okay. Well,
Or
I'd
rather,
move
not far away, but
closer.
relatively concealed.
Gotcha. At this is one time where I wish my cybernetic powers worked,
Yeah,
because I
I'm
have
sure
an
he's had that
analytical
feeling a
visor.
couple times.
But I mean, I try my best to look at, maybe see if there's any residue on that canister just from afar.
Yep. And
If
peering
there's
over towards
any-
it, there's some discoloration around the cap.
Discoloration.
Yep.
Like something like it was poured.
It does look like it has been poured, but maybe not super recently. You don't see an active drip.
Hmm.
Kind of like an old gas can. You know, you can tell if someone's been putting things in and out of a container,
Okay.
especially like kind of nasty corrosive ones, which is definitely something that I would imagine Verdo has some experience with.
Hmm.
Other actions he'd like to take.
Not that at the moment, no.
Certainly. In that case, jumping back over to Syriac and Libris, you would see that after they kind of have that little moment, the young man kind of withdraws his hand. He says, "Hello, come on, about face, come on, chaps. Quite enough of that."
Is it a man behind us?
Yes, this is one of the three who came jogging out. There's two young men by the lake, and then a third who came jogging out from the trees with two young women.
Libris stands up and dusts off paws and reaches a hand out. Libris, how can I help you?
He says, "Oh, pleasure, I suppose." And he reaches out a hand and shakes yours, seeming tentative and like he doesn't want to damage your hand. You're a bit shorter than him. And as he does so, he says, so if you're not the denizens of this strange place, then pray tell, what in the blast are you doing?"
Well, I have been sent to investigate.
And I've
Oh,
been
you
sent,
have?
and I've been sent to make sure that investigation doesn't go haywire. And that guy, pointing over at Verdo having a crisis on the side of the lake, has also been sent here, but I'm not entirely sure why yet.
Goodness gracious.
If you'll excuse me, and I go over to Verdo. Huh? What did you say?
Just says hello in his voice, just very robotic.
Okay.
The two young ladies like shriek and like take a few steps back towards the tree line, and the young man like staggers backwards and goes for like where a gun would be, but he doesn't have one on him.
Oh, because they saw Verdo, they actually looked up and
Yeah,
were like,
they
"Oh wait, he's
actually
there."
freaked the fuck out
Okay.
at seeing him. Yeah, exactly. But and however, one of the young ladies says, "Are we to assume then that you are friendly to some degree, to whatever degree you could be?"
Of course. That is to say, unless for some reason you are illusion, ooh, and he just like kind of waves the magic jazz hands around like.
Yes. No illusion, he says, kind of like holding out a hand and giving it a slap.
I will give it a smack myself.
Yeah. Piff. And as you do so, he says, "Very good. So if you need to investigate, then we had best clear out, hadn't we?"
If you can get your friends to move.
Certainly.
But I
Come on,
suppose-
Statlin, come on. He goes over to one of the young men and like actually takes him by the shoulders and goes to pull him like away. And as he does so, you can see him pause.
The guy who just grabbed the shoulders?
Yep, the guy who just grabbed the shoulders.
Hmm.
Well, that's rather disconcerting.
Yes, it is. He says.
And he just stops talking.
He did stop talking, but then he speaks up again, though a little slower this time. That is disconcerting. Do you see that? He points into the water. Look.
I look at the water.
And you can see that it's where his reflection should be. There is a tiny little smudge of color that is kind of blooming and building. It matches his own palette, and it seems to be slowly arranging itself into his actual reflection, but coming in much slower than it should be.
I look at that and I can see that thing of color coming as well.
Yeah, you can. You all can see it. Including Verdo, obviously off to the side, but you can see the reflection. Though I should note, when you would normally see someone's reflection in the water from afar, the reflection would hit at a different place than if they were looking into the water and looking themselves. You know what I mean? You're looking at it from a different perspective. But in this case, you all can see the reflection where he is looking, as though it were like a physical thing on the water's surface rather than a reflection.
And he seems to be just staring at it. Is he making any kind of move at all?
No, he's just looking and cocking his head and frowning gently. One of the girls calls over towards him. Laird, come on. You're scaring me.
I grab a smoke bomb.
Yep. He has these. This is something Syriac has.
Syriac is a long experienced character in the game. He has a lot of stuff that the base gunslinger does not have.
Yep.
As I take this out, his smoke bombs can actually release like slow plumes of smoke rather than just a large explosion of smoke. He will do so. He will just kind of like let a slow plume of smoke kind of pour out. And I want it to kind of direct across all of their lines of vision, but not touch the water as much as possible. Like just a gentle plume, just interrupting eye line of Laird and the two that are like kind of crouched over it. Yep. Just kind of have it come across their faces, irritate their nose, just irritate their eyes. Even though it doesn't expressly say that, I don't imagine it does. But like just something to get them to just like, and I just go, it seems like all of you need to back off and just let this smoke pour.
The man Laird who just grabbed the shoulders goes, and he staggers away. But the three of you would see the other two young men starting to disfigure. Their faces kind of like grotesquely snarling and like distorting. And you can see that one of them actually pauses his stupor and kind of like tries to clear the air. No, I need to, no, I need to see.
The first sign of disfigurement, the smoke is like, I'm trying to wave it away as well and just kind of like toss it back into the woods somewhere. So that it's like
one of the girls yelps and gets away from it, thinking maybe it will explode.
Libra starts using their tail to like fan and everything away.
And you can see that the two young men, please, they're, oh yes, fire away.
I was going to say one of Verdo's gears. Funny enough, he's a cyborg. Haha. He has a walking stick, but it's not made of wood. It is actually a steel pipe.
Nice, yeah.
That is his walking stick. So what I was going to say that he tries to do is how far away is he from like the rest of the party? And
he can stride over to them in like all of 10 seconds.
Okay, so he strides over.
Yep.
He takes his steel pipe and tries to push them away from the lake.
Yep.
Like just kind of because they're kneeling over, right? They're kneeling over, looking into the lake.
Yeah.
Well,
or
he
like
tries
they're standing and kind of craning over, so just kind of bodily pushing them backwards.
Yeah, trying his best to do so, using the mechanical might of his, because half of his body is machine. His right leg, right arm, this part of his face is all machine.
Yep. And he has a plus to might, correct?
Yes.
I recall he did. Yeah. These guys are effortlessly pushed away.
Yeah.
And
what happens with that?
As soon as you do so, unless are you trying to do both at once, or are you doing one at a time here?
I'm trying to do both of them at the same time.
Now, Verdo is big and also has that might stat. And because of that, he can pretty effortlessly manhandle these two. But immediately, as soon as their eye line breaks, they start freaking out. They start like clawing at him and trying to get past him, like trying to duck under his arm. No, 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 no. We need to get back. Please, please, please.
Standoff on both of them. So
Give me the paired action for standoff.
Yeah, oh god. Oh man. He's like, as soon as they are, so how far did Verdo push them away from the water's edge?
Couple steps. Enough so they can't see.
Syriac is now immediately occupying the space in between them and the water's edge.
Yep.
And I like grab one bullet from my bandolier and just dangle it over the water's edge. And I just go, whoa, 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 hold on there now, hold on now. And I'm just trying to stick with V1 standoff. But
I understand.
As I'm just holding one bullet pointed downwards above the water, threatening to drop it in.
Yep. What Dippy has just done, by the way, is activate a gunslinger ability called Standoff. All abilities have a paired action, which is something you describe your character doing in order to enact the magic. And so Standoff pauses conflict. And as such, once Syriac does this, Verdo, who admittedly, like, these are two guys and they're not pushovers, right? So he was actually having trouble when they're clawing and trying to flail. But as soon
you said they're youths, so they're kids.
In this case, like late teen to early 20s. So they
still, they're not. They shouldn't be like god tier strong.
God no. He could hold it, but at the same time, if you have two even like young men who are pushing at it, it's still going to do something, right? But as soon as he hears Syriac's voice, the two pause, though you can still feel them trembling against you, clearly still desperate, but being forced to stop. Syriac, quick follow-up before we jump back to Verdo and then Libris.
I just am holding this thread above the water, and I'm just like, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Just letting his voice drop and just being like, you said that you didn't want the surface of the water disturbed. I would really like to know why before I let you try again.
And Syriac can see, and Libris can see too. It's harder for Verdo because he's holding them, right? But the two of you can see their faces are melting off of their skulls.
Real creepy. I'm staying as calm as I can.
Incredibly grotesque. But as they are doing so, and they're just kind of slurring out of their loose mouths, please, we need to see the water. Please, let's see the water. Libris, actions you would like to take.
Sorry, I was just refamiliarizing myself with abilities here.
Oh yeah, abilities in Enclave tend to be very powerful, but they are specific. And also abilities in Enclave have cooldowns, meaning that after you use one, you cannot use it again for a little while.
I'm going to go ahead use an ability. Knowledge is power. Libris kind of briefly rummages through their book bag as flicking into their hand is like, oh, never mind, it's at home. Flick. Something looking for a book specifically mined in relation to, there's lots of myths across various different places and things and cultures and whatnot of looking glasses, mirrors, reflecting pools, things like that. Seeing if looking, I guess, kind of using it more as like as a search to a reference for what might be kind of going on right now.
Absolutely.
In regards to these guys.
In that case, as you are, so you're going for a knowledge is power on like folklore of that nature. Is that what you're kind of specifying?
Yeah,
Excellent.
yeah, kind of.
Knowledge is power also allows you to declare a magical effect for yourself or whoever reads it, which is related to the topic. And you get to come up with this yourself. It's something called a pitch, where you get to say what you are trying to produce. So what magical effect do you want this knowledge is power to yield?
Kind of I don't know that Libris is powerful enough to do it, but to lessen the effect of their faces melting, like almost like a mirror shows you a direct reflection of yourself. Libris is trying to flip that image again.
Ooh, cool. Okay. In that case, what we will do is I will accept actually, give me one more thing. Think about how you can make that power more thematically linked to the kind of water spirit folklore thing you are going for here. Can you think of a way to kind of synergize the two?
Since Libris spends so much time reading, there's a lot of stories about different fae, spirits, naiads, often be enthralled into lessening a thing or trading for different stories as they start reciting a poem about water that they've read in the past.
Okay, cool. In that case, I'm going to be super rude and ask you for a single couplet of that, but I'm going to give you a moment to think of it. It's fine if you can't. That's totally fine. But if you can, I would love to see it.
Work.
Next up, Verdo, actions you would like to take. The two have stopped pushing against you, but you hear their desperate, slurring voices kind of whispering towards Syriac. What would Verdo like to do?
Oh, I mean, he's seen war.
Oh, yeah.
So melting faces does not faze him.
I did not imagine it would.
But he's afraid to stop holding the pipe in front of them because he doesn't want them to go back towards the water's edge, because he notices that they will be stuck there. They will still be trapped. There will be no sense of rescue or with the mission we've been assigned.
Oh, yeah.
So
as Syriac is still dangling the thing over the water, there is a hint in his face.
That's what you're doing.
Like,
that's right.
There is a hint in his face that looks at Verdo and is like, you might have to let them at some point. And I'm just trying to see if I can get an answer out of them. And
we don't need them to keep doing what they're doing.
They'll be safer longer if we do, though. And I just kind of like, still waiting, still kind of hoping for that one answer of just like, why do you need to look in the water? He just looks, and like, he's been holding it like in a 3-claw pincher. Now he's holding it in a 2-claw pincher, and it's just like, last chance.
Verdo would feel both of them tense up and says, no, please, no.
Why?
And you can see that
with 1 vitality.
yeah. And as Verdo is holding them, one of them says, because it has our faces.
And I just like pull the bullet back away from the water, and I'm like, let him go.
yeah, I pulled the pipe back. I pulled the pipe back.
Crawl across the ground, and they like they don't touch the water, but they like put their heads over the edge, so they're looking down again. And 2 things of note: 1, the faces don't repair.
Oh God.
Second of all, the rest of their bodies were getting mutilated too. Fingernails falling off, bits of skin kind of sloughing open. But no blood, just awful.
That was a good reminder that we're an
this
adult
is a
channel
day
with
at the
adult
office
themes.
for Verdo.
Yeah. Okay. Phonze, fire away.
I'll be right back.
This is a day. Well, the thing is looking at this is a day in the office for Verdo, because I mean, dude's missing half his body.
Oh yeah, exactly. This is something that is not squeamish for him whatsoever. What does he want to do?
Well, he heard them say that their faces are in the water.
Yeah.
So Verdo goes over to the lake and tries his best to see if he can find their faces in the water.
Yep. And as he goes over and looks clean down into the water, 2 things. Remember I described that like little bubbling of pigment almost when the other man looked into the water?
Yeah, like a
You would
splotch of color.
yeah, you would see one of those too that kind of matches your color palette, but it's way, way slower at trying to like take your form. Because with him, it kind of bloomed into his appearance very quickly, like within 5 to 10 seconds. But with
Mm.
you, even after 5 to 10 seconds, it's barely past kind of the looming silhouette phase, with very little detail to speak of.
With that, wait, hold on. One of my stats I think might come into play.
If you're looking for your will stat,
I think it's will, like it's like investigative or something.
oh, I see. If you're looking for investigative, I don't know if you have spirit, but spirit also is
I
to
do.
some degree investigative. Yeah, that allows you to feel emotions.
Oh. Well, there's essence, magical energy use of feel abilities, and other supernatural powers. Oh, that's what that's
Yep.
for.
Do you have a moment to consider? Oh, hell yeah.
um,
Hey guys.
Sorry, that threw me for a loop. These are
No
done,
problem.
and we've been waiting for a while.
They are banana pudding blondies.
Oh, looks nice.
I dislike you
So-
at this moment in time.
Verto makes a basically not an observation, but he puts two and two together.
Oh yeah.
The fact that he is half machine, he's not a full-on organism, a full, carbon-based life form. But everyone else who's looked in is a
Oh, yeah.
full-on carbon-based life form. They're all human. So the lake has a hard time with non-living things.
Seems bang on the money. What does he want to do with this information?
He tries to think of a way to get everyone out, like get the two U's whose faces are melting off, to get it to find a way to basically get their faces back and find a way to, in essence, kill the lake.
Yep. Well, first of all, you're in the right direction, but something Verto would notice, he does not see the youth's reflection at all. Nothing. No natural reflection in the water, no like blooming appearance for them. But then
No
again,
blotches or anything
none.
from them.
None. But that said, they were already looking in when you guys poured it in. So maybe that process is only done to like get it in the first place. That said, before we go further, Libris, you have a thing.
I remembered the poem I was thinking of, and I have found it.
Aha!
It's by lovely Layla Chatty. How desire is a thing that I might die for, longing a long dark throat. Enter any body of water, and you give yourself up to being swallowed. Even the stones know that. I have writhed against you as if against the black bottom of a deep pool. I have emerged from your grip breathless and slicked, and how easily I could forget you as separate, so essential you feel to me now. You breathe me like my own blue shadow. You silent as the moon drifts like a pearl across your skin, my mouth to your lip, your spring I return to unquenchable and drink.
That's remarkably topical. In that case, as the knowledge's power activates, two things. For one, Libris would absorb this text, like this thing about a water folklore, right? Within the span of seconds, an entire book's worth of knowledge enters their brain. Second of all, they would know that this power is now infused within them alongside it. But third of all, there is something that immediately jumps to mind, which is, I'm sure in real life you are familiar with the story of Echo and Narcissus.
Yes.
There is a comparable myth in this part of Manifold, but rather than it being one who can only say what another has said, it is one who can only look like what another looks like. Deeply associated with water. one who swaps its form. They have a lot of names, but they are most commonly called reflection thieves. And they are rare.
Shin thieves. Oh man. Just like kind of looking over at Libris reciting this, just like, wow, mighty impressive.
And Libris, actions you'd like to take.
It's a great question, Robby. It's wonderful.
Here, do you need a moment to think?
I do need a moment to think.
I will give you a moment to think. All right, Syriac, actions you'd like to take.
I've like stepped back away from the water.
Yep.
And I got the answer I wanted. Put the bullet back into my bandolier, and I'm just
Yep.
looking at the. I'm not looking at the water. It's so instinctive to say that. I'm looking around the water's edge at the lily pads, at the other life that is kind of sitting adjacent to the water's edge, and I just want to see if any of that looks fake, projection-y, like trap, like come closer, I'm fine. Like
The plants all look real, but you notice that while you hear bird song everywhere, there are no birds. There's no frogs. There's no bugs. There's no water sharks. There's no mosquito larvae. But there is in the woods, just not at the lake.
Mm-hmm.
More importantly, however, you hear footsteps running from the woods towards the water as the young man from earlier screams, "What's going on with his hands?"
The young man from earlier being the guy
The
that
man
I like,
Laird,
kinda, like
who tried to
yeah.
the one who you blinded to get out of him.
Footsteps from behind me. I'm just like, what's going on with his hand? Just like, not a step closer. Get away from the water. We're gonna try to save your two friends, but there's already a lot of damage that's been done to them. You and your friends do not take a step anywhere nearer to this water until we figure this out.
But we need to help. We need to do something about this.
You can help by shutting up. And I just look at him and I'm like, give me that. And I point at the canister of poison.
Yep. And he like shoves it towards you, and he like takes off his coat, and he kind of holds it up as the other two young ladies are just looking in utter horror at the disfigured like bodies in front of them, and he just kind of like blocks their vision
Exactly.
with his coat.
That is the best thing you could do to help.
Yeah, he says, "Back to the tree line, I think. Keep calm."
As I catch this canister, I like
Yep.
unscrew it.
Oh
and just,
God,
like,
that smell. Wah. Rough.
it is just okay. This is vile stuff. Look. And I look over to the other two, and I'm like, "Any of you make heads or tails of this?" And I like show it to Libris, show it to Verdo, just kind of like.
I will note, Verdo is not looking at you. Verdo is looking in the water, though he's usually still, so you can't tell if he's been snagged or not.
Wait a minute now. And I go over and I like, I have no might, but I'm still like grab on. Is Verdo wearing clothes?
Yes.
I would assume so. Grabbing onto like the tail of his jacket and just like, just kind of like scribbity scraping along the floor.
To try to get him away. Yeah. How will Verdo respond?
I mean, you said it yourself. Verdo's not really affected, right? He doesn't see the blotches or anything.
Nope.
So I would think he's not under any sort of trance or effect or anything. He's just looking at the water.
Yep. But
so
he is kind of like
turns,
disconcertingly still for anyone else's purposes.
Yeah, but so he feels Syriac tugging on his coat jacket.
Yep.
It's a black and red long jacket. He turns to look to him and says,
I'm totally fine.
And I just like stop in that moment, and I just like, but you were looking at the water. Wait a minute.
Fine.
Is that something to do with Marble Mouth over here? And just like kind of
Marble mouth.
something, I don't know. If you're fine, then fine. And I like let go, and I just like, can you make heads or tails of this? And I hold up this vial of very potent poison. Potent of the poison is the chalice from the palace. And I hold up this vial of poison to him, and it's just like for him to take and observe at his leisure.
Verto,
Oh,
would you
for
take
me?
it?
Yeah, for you.
Yeah, I'd take it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hold it. And you said what'd you say it was?
It's like a canister of poison. And he asked if you could make it heads or tails of it.
That's what the Enclave gave us, right?
No, this is what they had. The youths had, because they were going to dump it in the lake to
Right.
poison whatever was in it.
What color is the poison?
And kind of like peering inside it's opaque. It's an opaque container, so you have to look into it. It's kind of like a dull maroon.
A dull maroon. It's almost like a blood red color? Like
Not
the color
quite.
of
It's
blood?
like muddier than that. Think of it
Okay.
like, if you want to go with like coagulated blood made liquid, then sure, that's kind of reasonable. Yeah, and while everyone else would be getting a nose full of it, I don't know how sensitive Verto's nose is, but it would have like a distinct, like, how do I describe
He
it?
can sense smells. Like he can definitely like get a sense of what something smells like.
Sure.
But it's not like he takes a whiff of something and just like immediately succumbs to any effects it has.
Oh yeah.
Because
And-
he's half machine.
Imagine like a more herbal DEET that's really strong in terms of the smell.
Deet like bug repellent.
Yeah. But like
He did
wildly overpowering.
okay. So he opens the canister.
Yep.
He takes his metal arm.
Yep.
The pinky finger on his right arm. He dips it in and watches what the poison does to his finger.
He is completely fine, but a little bit drips onto the grass, and the grass doesn't do fine. It doesn't like shrivel instantly or anything, but you can see it like starts to wilt. Whereas he's fine. It's kind of like thick, a little saccharine. It doesn't flow quickly or easily, but it is distinctly liquid. It's not molasses by any means. Before we go further with that, Libris, actions you'd like to take, especially now that you have the knowledge about the reflection thieves and you have acquired your magical power.
Libris is going to see if they can communicate with the reflection thief now that they know what it is. And so they're going to take their quill pen and start drawing intricate shapes of like those the members of the party and the boys, and then a question mark right above the surface of the water, close enough that under normal circumstances the reflection would be right there.
Yep. How detailed are these pictures?
I don't know about you guys, but I'm a bookworm and I tend to doodle while I think a lot, especially while reading. So I would say like not by any means a great piece of art,
Little
but
cartoons.
but I like something past like it's easily
It's not
like
stick
the
figures,
sketch
but it's
that
not
I did of
Monet
Libris.
either.
The sketch that you saw is the sketch that I did of Libris. That's my art. So like nothing by any means capital, but definitely passable.
Not stick figures, but it's also not unrecognizable.
And as you are doing so, by the way, you would see that on the surface of the water, pigment appears. Again, it's as though it were a reflection, but you can see it from any angle at the same place. And it kind of forms underneath your quill pen markings, and it blooms into 2 of your doodles. the two of the ones who started the mission already
Mhm.
trapped, right? You see that it's replicated your two doodles of those two young men. There's no question mark. It's just those two,
Okay.
and it's pretty much a perfect match to your doodles of them.
Oh, dang.
So
This
you're
is cool.
acting.
This is a cool point. We're going to come back to this because we got to do another ad break. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more reflection thievery after this short break.
Sure.
Whoa.
I'm gonna.
And welcome back. We were just in the middle of some water staring.
Doodles. Water
Or
doodles.
trying not to water stare.
Quite.
I love staring at liquids.
My hobbies include. So
Staring at liquids.
listen, I live
Not
a very
staring.
overstimulating life. You got to unwind somehow.
You gotta unwind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So quickly go into Libris and then Verdo. Libris, after this little sketch is imitated just those two, what would you like to do from here as follow-ups with your quill pen or otherwise?
Libris is going to start drawing several pictographs. essentially trying to convey kind of what happened. So very quickly, forest kids, indicating the lake, and then essentially asking what happened with you. So drawing pictures indicating towards the lake, drawing a person kind of motioning their hands outward this way, like gesturing towards someone, and then again with the question mark.
And you can see that they copy your sketch of the youths. They copy your sketch of the lake. They take 2 of the youth sketches and they put it at the lake, and they replicate it dozens of times, like boom, 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 each one kind of fading out. And each time it fades out, you can see the 2 little sketches of the 2 youths get kind of smaller and smaller and smaller until they're just kind of marks
Like
that
a flip
vanish.
book.
Yep, it flip books your sketch to give its response.
Okay. So this reflection thief was essentially playing in the water and got cursed, is what Libris is gathering from it? Or it's the youths?
Yeah, probably describing the youths. Though that said, the since it can only copy from what you have seen, it may have trouble voicing a more thorough thought. Before we go further with that, Verdo, actions.
Getting away from the water. Like he wants to stop staring. He's just been staring at the water for like a long, quite a while. So he wants to step away and go back with the rest of the other 2 in his party.
As he trudges away from the water, his like heavy footfalls leaving like big prints in the soft earth. He would see that the other 3 at the tree line are just all staring, completely silent. The young man with his jacket has like kind of let it droop, so the 2 young women are watching, but now they're mostly focusing on you, clearly scared of you.
See, Verdo's a little bit of a jerk, just a tiny bit of a jerk.
You don't say.
So he sees them just like kind of staring at him, and so he kind of flexes his only human arm a little bit, and then does a forward motion, like I'm gonna get you,
like a start. And you see that one of the women squeaks and trips over her dress and falls down, and then the young man kind of like staggers backwards, and then he looks over and helps her back to her tree. The last woman like was getting behind a tree and then looks at you reproachfully.
Well, the one that tripped, I look at her, notice that she fell, and tell her I'm not gonna hurt you, and I reach out my hand to help her up.
And you can see that she looks very dubious at this, but the young man who was already kind of getting down to help her up kind of looks up at you
for flinching, and then just like, never mind, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
He's kind of a jerk, kind of.
The young man kind of looks up to you and says to her kind of in her ear, "We don't really have much of a choice. Come on."
We don't have much of a choice. We need to trust the cyborg.
Yeah. And she kind of looks not disgusted, but very uncomfortable. He says, "Come on. They're trying to help." And she kind of places her hand softly into yours and kind of squeezes, clearly testing whether it's actually metal, which I would imagine it is.
It is. It's a steel titanium alloy.
Yeah. Is Verdo going to actually help her to her feet?
Yes. He's kind of a jerk. Kind of, as in he will like just a little bit. He's gonna do the flinching thing, but then he's like, "Oh wait, that was too far. Hold on."
Just a prank, bro.
Yeah, pretty much.
He does so. The other woman kind of helps her dust off her skirt, and she kind of looks about and says, "Can you tell us anything about what has befallen our two companions? Why are they looking like that? Is it fake? She says hopefully.
Is it what?
Fake.
Fake. Oh, like she's wondering if they're faking it. Well, I was hoping you guys would be able to tell me.
She shakes her head and she says, We had never heard of this place before, but when we had a very dear friend to us, his name was Elton, and he told us of this place and never came back. And he was pronounced dead several weeks ago. Search parties everywhere. We told everyone about this place, but no one found his body. And I would imagine no one found this either. But we came out to take revenge, I suppose, because what else could it have been? She says he was telling us about this beautiful place that he'd found with this strange, mysterious water, and that he'd dearly like to go and explore about it, and it was clearly something foul here. We talked about it a lot. Came out here, found the place, didn't come near, came back, fetched. She points to the poison that's you're now holding. And now we're here to do the deed, presumably.
Where did you get the poison from?
And the other young lady says, my father, we have quite an extensive garden, you see, and that's one of the... We use that to kill particularly troublesome species of tree.
I'm just swirling it in my right hand with my metal arm because I'm not trusting in my human hand since I saw the grass.
Oh, yeah. She says, it's nasty stuff, though. He always says we need to be careful not to do it near any sort of running water because it will just kill all the frogs immediately and the fish. So it's the right sort of thing that you would do to kill something awful in a lake.
How do you know that it's the lake itself?
It's silly, but, you know, old stories, right? Creatures in lakes. You always hear about it. And we know... It sounds silly, I understand, but these old stories are not always without a kernel of truth, and we figured that this was one of those cases. A lake that no one could find besides us. A whole search party was looking for Elton after he died. No one found it. No one could find it, and then we found it effortlessly.
So are you telling me, hold on, you're telling me that this lake can only be found by youths, those that are younger?
They look to each other, and the young man says, you know, you might be right about that, actually. I'd never thought it that way.
So hold on, out of character,
That's
character
incredible.
real quick. Out of character, I have to ask because the thought just came in my head.
Yeah.
Is this lake a pedo?
Whoa.
Well, you can think
Like
of
Neverland.
a lot of folklore tropes die when one becomes an adult.
Oh no. Oh.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Really?
Like
You could kind
Peter
of
Pan, Santa
you could
Claus.
kind of argue that about Neverland at the same time, I suppose.
Oh
yeah.
God.
And I should note, these are not like children. They're distinctly young adults.
Yes.
So where exactly the cutoff is not clear.
26 when you get insurance.
It's when you get Victorian insurance.
Victorian insurance.
Montague is returned.
Right. Before we go further with Verdo, Syriac, actions you'd like to take before we jump back to Libris.
Man, everything in me wants to just dive into this water and kill this thing, but I know that it's probably the water itself. I kind of speak up about, like, all these noises that we're hearing. these frogs, these birds, all this wildlife. There isn't any around here. It's all coming from the lake. It's all a trap. It draws people in with its noises and with its vigor. What we need to learn is how to get them out. How do you get them out? And I just like look, just glancing. How much will do I have? 2. Just making sure before I do this. I just glance briefly at the water itself to see if I can see. I want to look for them in my reflection. Whatever
All right,
starts to appear.
So you are trying to find what would be a reflection.
Of them, of the 2.
Aha. Nice. So you're not looking for your own reflection.
No, I am looking for
Okay.
theirs.
And in that case, where their reflection should be, there's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And as Syriac's eyes kind of like skate out across the water, something that he would note, by the way, well, 2 things he would note. First of all, he doesn't feel any hypnotic pull. It seems as though, since he has not like looked for his own reflection yet, there's nothing binding him. Second of all, he sees in the lake quite a few other reflections now that he's really looking out across it. Most of them are animals, though. And almost all of them are in the water. And as in like a reflection of a bird, like belly side up flying, just as it was when presumably it flew across the lake. But there is no bird up in the sky, not above the lake at the very least.
So here is the thought process in his mind, and I'm going to do a couple of actions as he does this as well.
Yep.
He's looking at the water, looking at the other reflections in the water, looking at the animals' reflections in the water, and I'm like, okay, I gotta look for them. I can't see myself. That I know for damn sure. So that's a good sign. And he will walk up to the edge of the water.
Yep.
And he will look for a reflection of a small animal, like a frog or like a squirrel or something, in the water. And he will hover his hand over that part of the water, move it to the shoreline where its reflection is, and grab.
Yep. To try to see if he can get like
there's a squirrel in this reflection right here, and if I follow it up, boing, there it is.
Yep. And the answer is nothing. But
just grass.
Something that he would note is that there are the little animals that kind of skitter out in reflections across the lake. There isn't necessarily a pattern to them, but they are coming way more frequently than real life animals do at a real life lake. You know, like you'll see animals if you're looking for them. But not in this frequency. The other thing of note is that since he was right at the water's edge and he was trying to get something, the reflection of which was right next to the water's edge as well, his peripherals can see his own reflection slowly starting to build.
As I'm just like, part of it was looking at the bank for the squirrel, just like,
oh yeah,
it's like it's not there, and I just put it and like looking away from the water and to the point that he will grab his gun, point it out across the water, just not aiming at a person, not aiming at where another reflection would be. All he's gonna do is fire his gun and see if the animals in the water scatter. Just let the noise ring out, and just like the shot will just go across the water into the side of the hill nearby or whatever, into a tree. All he's looking for, he's just like, I have to look, and he sees if any of the animal reflections scatter when that noise goes off.
In the same way of a person who you set off a gun next to the ear will jump, it's as though the lake jumps. The water doesn't move, of course, but suddenly there are hundreds of reflections all at once, including the 2 young men and another young man besides, and several others, and then they're all gone within like the space of half a second. Boom, and then they're back.
I point at where I saw the reflections in the water, and I'm just like, he was there. He was right there. And I look away. He was right there, and I point back.
The version of your reflection that was starting to bubble up when you shot, it vanished as well. Clearly got like spooked, right?
Yes. here's something though. I point at the water. I go, he was there. They were right there. I look back towards Libris and Verto. I look back and there I am.
Yeah,
I'm just staring
exactly.
right at him. I'm just staring right at my own reflection, just like,
It's kind of like shifting into place and crisping and tightening, and even kind of matching your expression too.
and I think for just a second, and I'm like, looking at it, and I'm like, when did I get that scar? Trying to see if it will make a scar over my eye, even though I don't have one.
You can see that it's almost like you juke it. You see that it starts to try to do something, then realizes that's not correct and fixes it. But before we go further, Libris, actions from you. Obviously, you heard the bang, but other actions you'd like to take leading up to and just after that.
Libris goes, I'm sorry. Do you mind? As they then push their reading glasses up their nose, using to now block out all distraction. They're specifically focusing on. They're going to start writing words, ignoring like using their reading glasses to really focus in on their own writing and not pay attention to any reflections that are going
Bingo.
on.
Nicely done.
Nice.
As they start writing the entire alphabet.
Yep.
And then right across the water, my name is Libris, what's yours?
And as you do so, writing out the entire alphabet, you can see the bits that it steals, as though like a letter falls away just before it is copied and then is replaced afterwards. And as you do so, you can see that letters start to rapidly appear and then fade. They're coming quick, in kind of almost like a panicked way, like someone like texting very, very quickly. There's even a few typos. And as it's going, it responds, I have no name. Get the noise away from me.
It's away from me.
The gunshot? Question mark.
I don't care what it's called. Get it away.
As Libris sits up and looks over and goes, it does not like you.
Syriac does not hear this, and Libris sees that Syriac is looking into the water still.
And just well, you have to let him go.
Verto, actions.
So I hear the gunshot
Oh yeah.
because I just helped the people who I scared the out of
Yeah.
essentially, and I hear the gunshot and I turn around and notice Syriac did that, and I notice he's staring in the water.
Yep.
And I just give a little bit of an eye roll and I whip out my steel pipe again.
Yep.
And try to push him away like I did with the youths.
As you are doing so, before we get to that point, first thing from follow-up from Libris, and then I'll jump to Syriac. Libris, what was the thing that you just wrote? Could you remind me?
Well, then you're going to have to let him go.
And and as you said that, as you write that out, you see that the response comes slower this time. No.
Then the noise won't go away.
I don't believe you. That made the noise. Before we go further, Syriac, looking at your reflection, fixing itself up, and at a point of like 99.9% accuracy.
I am looking into the water and looking at this reflection of myself, and I want to as I'm looking, can I, as I'm looking, walk along the bank to a different part of the lake, like from where I'm standing, or does it feel like I'm just kind of being held?
Ooh, it's hard, but you can do it.
To will?
You can. That's part of it, right?
Yeah.
The way I would describe it is
Actually, let me put it a different way. I want to
Yep.
try to make my reflection move even if my regular body doesn't.
even more interesting. How do you want to do that?
So I'm thinking to it jumped and like hundreds of reflections showed up in the water. And just in the flash moment of seeing the two boys that we're trying to save and being reminded that there was a third one that Elton, who we could theoretically look for as well. I want to at the very least, does it feel like I can close my eyes? Even if I'm still, quote unquote, looking at the water, if my head is still directed at the water,
The second you start trying to close your eyes, you would feel the most visceral splitting migraine starting in the front of your forehead. It is physical pain to even attempt to close your eyes.
Interesting. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to try.
Oh, God.
To work through this.
The throbbing, wild pounding in your head. It literally feels like someone's just trying to rip your head open. But also, you would feel as though, like, through like a multiple layers of mattress, you would feel kind of something pushing at you.
So here's what I want to do.
Berto, you can effortlessly pull Syriac away, but a thing from Syriac in the process.
So as I'm letting my body be pulled away, I want to envision, purely mentally, what my reflection would be seeing if I were in its place.
Yep. You can picture that very easily.
And I look around for other reflections, for the hundreds that I saw in that picture. I'm just looking for where they are. Now, what I'm essentially saying here, if this thing swaps places with people that walk up to it, I want to see if I can move around in that space of the theoretical swap while it is trying to swap places with me before it fully does, and how much action I would be able to get out of that, even if I'm letting him pull me back away from the water.
Hit me with a defiance.
There have been a few missions that Syriac has gone on where he is either the object of someone's curiosity, not just because of what he is as per Deliver from Deceit. He was literally an object of devotion for some of those people. But in Chains of Faith Eclipse, he was an object of curiosity because of the people, his faith. He was an ambassador of his faith. And even in P4, there was a moment where he was trying to look for Nemi's sister, and there were just these, everyone was like focusing on him, just like this thing is focusing on him. And through it all, he is able to just keep himself centered and just say, "You're not going to change who I am. Only I can change who I am, God damn it." And he's going to use that defiance. Thank you, Ori, for the follow. Good to see you. He's going to use that feeling of, I can't change, you can't change who I am, only I can change who I am. And I need to know if this defiance is to be able to get away or to be able to control myself.
I will answer that by saying that with Syriac's eyes closed, though he has never used the ability viewpoint, he would for a moment see himself under the water, as though looking up from below. And turning to his side, he can see two other young men looking up, precisely where they had stood.
I am, in that moment, going to... Is standoff off cooldown?
No.
Fuck me. I am going to rip my necklace off of my neck and toss it over at them, trick-shotting between the two of their heads. Just pink, pink, to get both of their attention to look at me. I'm taking something off of my person and throwing it at them to get their attention away from looking at their reflection above them and to look at me.
And before Syriac sees what happens as his underwater self throws this necklace, the little moment of lucidity ends, and he's back up, like behind his own eyelids, shuddering and convulsing. Verdo, and then Libris. Verdo, as you were pulling Syriac away, you would see two things. First of all, he had his eyes closed when you got to him. Second of all, he is shaking wildly. He's shaking like a leaf. And third of all, you can see that underneath his fur, he is starting to be disfigured. Do you need a moment to think?
Yeah.
I got you.
Fuck, I really wanted standoff to be off cooldown, man. God
Indeed.
damn.
Libris, actions you would like to take at this point. Obviously, you've been writing back and forth. You can see that Syriac is being hauled away by Verdo. What would you like to do?
Very quickly noticing now that Syriac has been snared, doubles down very furiously writing, and starts almost rapid firely writing questions. If it's okay, I used my catalog ability for this to this, and they're trying to very quickly establish, what is it that you want? Are you permanently stuck in this location? And
so it's almost like
Where's the
you're
third
using
one?
the catalog to like swirl around the letters as you're asking things. Is that what you're kind of going for here?
yeah, essentially, yeah, swirl around, like, because I imagine they've been writing very frequently, using the catalog ability to very quickly organize their thoughts with the ink that they've been using, and they want to gain a bit of control over so far this open dialogue, and they want to establish a little bit more firm-handedness on this, and imply a sense of urgency.
I see. Are you going to be, in that case, restricting or controlling how it responds to you? Because catalog does allow you to organize and tidy. And if it's just making replicas of your own letters, you can organize those.
They're going to, because all that Libris has ever wanted to do was to organize and catalog and have access to knowledge in their life, and so they're going to imply the constraint on the availability of responses, of only the reflections. They can only respond with what they know.
Well, even better. Catalog allows you to get information about that which you are organizing, which means that even if the responses of the lake are jumbled, you can still learn what's going on to some degree, again, with catalog.
Yeah, essentially doing this to glean what exactly is going on from their responses.
Now, as you are like writing out rapid fire questions, it's trying to give rapid fire answers, but as though there was like a little hurricane of letters, they keep getting like blown away in the catalog. Now, and which means that there's like a little swirl of alphabet soup going in on top of and just below the surface of the water. That said, with catalog, even if the responses themselves are garbled, what information are you trying to learn? You were going for what is your intention? I believe that was the first one.
Yeah, intention. Are
Yep.
they permanently stuck to this location?
Yep. In that case, I will give you those two answers. That's going to be what you get out of this catalog.
Mhm.
To the first answer, their intention is to take people's guises. That is their raison d'être. That is what they do. And
Mhm.
two, they are this location. They are the lake. Cannot move.
Cannot.
Mhm.
What would Libris like to do from here? Even if no other like immediate actions, you could also say consider whether you want to say this aloud, which is obviously not a strict yes or no thing.
Yeah.
Do you need a moment to think?
Why do you want to take people's guises?
Yes, indeed. And the answer is very, very short. Short enough that you actually can read it before it blows away. It's only 3 letters long. EAT.
Mm.
Mm.
Birdo, actions you would like to take.
Well, last we left off with Syriac, his skin was essentially melting.
He's starting to distort. Yes, it's not
Right, like
happening wildly quickly, but it is happening.
like the youths.
Yep,
When we
exactly
took
right.
them away. And see what he experienced, I had no idea of.
Mm.
I was
Yep.
not a witness to it.
Yep.
Well, we'll see about that shortly.
Is he still away as he starts to distort and everything? Is he still away from the lake? Has he moved? Is he trying to claw back?
You have gotten him back to the lake. Unlike the youths, he is not fighting you. At least not that Dippy has mentioned yet.
Yeah.
Although he is again shaking like a leaf.
Mhm.
He feels incredibly weak. He's obviously quite a small guy in your big cyborg, like against your big cyborg body. He's tiny. And so even with that, his convulsions are violent. Not enough to disrupt your grip, but enough to be like, wow, that's intense.
What I try to do, even though his face is becoming distorted and everything, I try and grab his shoulders and
Yep.
try to slightly shake him out of his trance or whatever's going on with him to get some form of communication, some form of lucidness from him.
Yep. And Syriac,
Mhm.
after that little flash where you tried to trick shot your necklace,
Mhm.
are you going to try to open your eyes?
While my eyes are still closed, do I feel like this pain still radiating?
Oh yeah. Just as bad, if not getting worse.
If I speak with my eyes closed and say, "They're still down there. Something can be done. I'm just not sure what." Does Verdo hear that?
Verdo would hear it, though it's muttered. Like Verdo would get the gist much more than the exact words.
I am screaming if I have to.
Even then, it comes out as a mutter.
Interesting.
No louder than when the 2 youths were begging to get back to the water.
Then I will say it again, assuming that he will have come in closer to listen to it.
And Verdo, you would hear Syriac's words, kind of muttered, grunted, barely enunciated to you. They're still in there.
They're still in there. Something can be done. I'm just not sure what.
But he would be under his breath. It'd be muttered.
It
like,
would
yeah,
be muttering, yeah.
With
I
you
could
like
get the
up in his
gist.
face, you get it.
Okay. Well, I would look over at Libris and then basically repeat what Syriac said to Libris because
Yep, to confirm.
yeah,
Yeah.
just to be like, hey, just so you know,
Libers, well, it certainly doesn't like noise, so I can understand why they're being quiet.
Can
when
I
they
hear
do
Libers say that?
speak.
No.
No. Hmm. I can still imply, though, from my gunshot that it doesn't like noise.
Oh, yeah.
I had hoped that it would be a rather reasonable creature and could be convinced to just leave all well alone. Or if nothing else, have a nice, lovely companion to come along on adventures. But, considering that it's the entire lake, I don't think that will happen.
What happens if I open my eyes, Robby?
As Syriac's eyes flutter open, the entire world is a blur around him, and he just feels the throbbing, desperate, dire urge in the pit of his soul to look in the lake.
Mm-hmm.
The pain stops when he looks in the lake.
And it's eating them.
Do I know? Does his distorted face go back to normal once he looks in?
He hasn't looked back in yet.
No,
Oh, he
I'm
hasn't. Okay.
deciding whether or not I want to at the moment.
Yeah.
Even if the entire world is a blur, can I still make out that one of my companions is holding me right now?
Yes.
If I
Only
speak,
because
does
of
it
your
come-
posture and
Yeah,
your direction.
If I speak, does it come out in less of a mutter?
Um,
And I
it-
say, "This."
It's still a mutter, but you can enunciate like single words.
Trying to think of what he would say. They're still in there. I'm not sure what can be done, but it can be. And if I look back to my reflection, to the lake, is it only my reflection that I can see? Or
Yes.
is it...
And the second you look back at it, a just sheer rush of relief goes through you. All the pain goes away. But Verdo can see that Syriac is not healed.
Mm-mm. As I look and I'm like, if I speak now, it's still a mutter? Yeah.
It's quiet, but you can enunciate everything now.
As I'm looking into it, and while I'm looking at my reflection, what I want to do to distract it is keep coming up with differences in my appearance in my mind's eye. Like, my nose is supposed to be bigger than that. My ears are supposed to be smaller than that.
I will note, as Syriac tries to do this, it doesn't work this time. He is both quite rattled, and it seems as though perhaps the lake has his number.
Okay, seeing that doesn't work. If I'm looking at my reflection, can I control my reflection without controlling myself? Like, I can wave my hand in my reflection?
Just like at base, just saying, I want to do this in your mind, no. Before we go further with that, however,
go ahead.
Libris, do you have any other actions you would like to take?
Libris looks to Verdo. I'm open to ideas because I'm currently I'm not really built to fight things, and I would rather not. If I could convince this creature to either move or let them go to be in peace, rather than have loud, noisy, messy children running around the place. Heck, if it even just wanted to see the world, I'd be happy to take it with me.
I
What
mean,
would Verdo say?
I mean, I'm currently still trying to basically shake or take Syriac out of his trance.
Syriac is now looking back at the water and has calmed down completely. And has gone
Right,
back into a state of complete looseness, just staring at the water.
So I set Syriac down.
Yep.
And does anything happen if I just set him down and let him look at the lake?
Nope. He is completely
just-
calm. He's completely there.
Okay.
Just like the two youths who are still kind of just staring into the water. You don't hear any noise from the others either.
Hmm. Liberus, you said you're open to ideas?
Yes.
I take out my steel walking stick, the steel pipe, and I slam it on the ground.
Are you hitting a rock?
No, it's just dirt.
Yep. Like a deep hollow thud.
Hmm. Does the lake react? Because it reacted with Syriac's gunshot, so I want to see
It
if it
did.
reacts with the pipe.
You can see that if it does, it's the slightest flicker and only in the nearest parts of the water. It was clearly, it's not nearly as loud after all.
Right. So then I slam, and then I find, is there any rocks nearby?
Oh, yeah.
Then I try and slam the pipe on a rock.
Falling metal pipe.sfx. Massive clang. And you can see the lake start again. And you can see for a moment just a flash of dozens, if not hundreds of reflections, though most of them are small animals.
In the
Yes, you're
moment that noise goes off, that he does that noise.
Yep.
Big ass fucking defiance. I want to be able to move my reflection over and literally have Syriac's reflection grab Elton's reflection or either of the other two boys' reflection the moment that noise goes off.
Talk me through the defiance. This is a big one.
As he is speaking, he will speak gently under his breath an excerpt from the canon in an attempt to activate standoff again if it has gotten off a cooldown. With his perk. What is it? Oh, where did Syriac's character sheet go? There it is. With his perk, Holier Than Thou, if standoff takes the form of a sermon, it's likely to impact more targets and weakens their magic and will. In
Excellent.
the mutterance of his visage looking into the lake, I want to be like, to start speaking to it candidly if I can. And just be, one who places down his roots, one who has no choice but to root himself to the land that he has grown as prosperous, does not yield more fruit by complaining about the crop when it dies. One must see into oneself and find that their worth is not tied to their visage. One's worth is tied to their actions. As he walks through a land parched of water and food, he finds respite in the comfort of knowing what is coming. He finds the journey to be more satisfying than the resolution. One does not cease to live by staying in one place. One gathers stories to tell to those who pass along the way. And all of this is just I'm trying to have it resonate between myself and my reflection, where I am intentionally speaking to it being my reflection, but it also being the thing that has my reflection now. And this standoff is going to try to target the lake, but also the reflections of the two boys and Elton within it. As if speaking to it in this way can draw... When you look in a mirror, you see your reflection, but you can also look past your own reflection in the mirror and see the reflection of the environment around you, right? Like, it's a simple process. You, as you look, you just don't look directly at yourself. You look at your surroundings and see other things in it. If a person was standing behind you when you were looking in a mirror and you look past your reflection, you would see the person standing behind you if you angled yourself correctly, etc. As he continues, there is no more to be found in one grain of sand than there is to be found in the entirety of the universe. All of life's possibilities are endless when you decide to look, when you decide not to look, but when you decide to see. And as he's doing this, he's just trying to get a good view, see if he can see the other reflections that he's looking for, going back to earlier.
But he can only see the two youths from the beginning of the mission.
He can't see Elton?
No.
That's fine. That was just a little bonus. That was just a little cherry on top if I could. And I look and I see them as I just keep going with this standoff, and I say, one who travels without purpose is not a traveler. One who tells stories without meaning is not a storyteller. One who consumes without giving back is one who consumes without giving back is not living. They are dying slowly. And then the loud noise goes off of the steel pipe on the rock, and the lake jumps again. And as the lake jumps, my reflection will run over to the two boys and grab their hands and say, "Hang on!" And I want to use my sneakers to jump out of the water. My reflection's sneakers to jump out of the water with them in tow.
To the other two, here is what you would notice. As Verdo is going over to strike that stone and make the lake jump, you would hear Syriac murmuring softly as though he were sleep talking. But as soon as the strike goes off, you would see that the lake jumps, and then 3 images remain. Syriacs, which you've been able to see, but also the 2 youths. And Syriacs, by the way, you were only able to see briefly. It vanished recently. So Syriac and the 2 youths who are still looking into the water, their images remain. And you can see while all of them, their physical bodies stand still, Syriac's reflection runs away from himself across the water towards the 2 boys. He grabs them and looks like he is trying to push through the surface of the lake as though it were a glass wall. However, as he pushes, he strikes it and isn't able to break it. Actions from Verdo and then Libris.
I have a question before they do something else.
Yeah, quick question. Go for it.
When I did the thing with my necklace and the trick shot on those 2 boys earlier, did that actually proc trick shot, or was I pulled away?
It did proc trick shot. And in fact, as Syriac's reflection runs over, it would be able to, well, I'm not going to say that because Syriac is not his reflection. So.
Oh, what do you mean? Of course. No, you have a point. No.
Now, that said, Verdo would be able to see, as well as Libris, that one of the 2 boys is holding a necklace in his hand. That said, Verdo, do you have actions you would like to take? Syriac's reflection is trying to push out of the surface of the lake and is unable to. Again, as though it were a glass wall that he cannot shatter.
How far away is like his reflection? Like from, if I'm standing at the shore, right? I'm standing at the shore of the lake.
It's like 5 running paces away from you up the shore of the lake.
Okay. Is he still repeatedly trying to break it?
He is, yeah, he's trying to like push his way through.
I'll notice it and I will run over to where, as close as I can get to where they're at.
Yep.
Take my steel pipe and smash it into the water.
That was gonna be my next. Yep.
Yep.
To break the surface tension of the water.
And as you do so, for the first time since you guys arrived, the water splashes. Like actual water, just sends up a spray everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Ripples go out across the entirety of the pond. And Syriac and the two youths stumble away from the lake, falling on their backs, gasping and panting. Their wounds are still there, but they are not getting worse.
So they're still like distorted faces.
They are
and
still
everything?
mutilated.
Mhm.
That said, as they are all taking deep, resounding breaths, the three up by the woods yell with delight and start to sprint down towards the edge of the lake. Libris, actions.
Libris immediately turns and runs towards the three who are sprinting down.
Yep.
And pushing, like waving their arms to dissuade them from coming forward, going, no, don't you know reflections are transportation and other things? Portals, go!
And you can see that one of them, the young man Laird, says, please, we just need to get them out of there. We just pull them away or something.
We're working on it.
That fellow looked in the water. He points over towards Verdo. And he yells to Verdo, sir, please pour the poison in. Please do something.
Well, so I just caused that giant splash.
Oh, yeah. And
right.
the three trapped people have staggered away from the lake. And
Are we saying the splash is like the size of someone doing a cannonball into a pool?
It would not be too. You're a big dude with a steel pipe and +1 of might. Yeah, it's a big splash.
Yeah.
So it's a big splash.
Splashy.
So I turn and see that everyone, Syriac and the two U's, have basically, they stumbled back. Where are they looking now that they stumbled back? Are they looking
Sky.
up? They're looking towards the sky.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I basically run around the entire lake before anyone can look back down.
Yep.
Gather them all up. Tell the three other U's that just ran down.
Yep.
And tell them that your friends are okay. Stay away from the water.
Yep.
And I put everyone there. Tell everybody, stay where you're at. I grab the poison.
Yep.
And I dump it in the water.
As you are doing so, Libris, do you have any follow-ups as Verdo is hauling everyone away and then is getting ready to dump the poison into the lake?
I don't know if it'll work. I'll throw it out there though.
Please do. I want to see all the things that you come up with.
As they look at the kids that have been dropped at their feet by Verdo, they reach down and touch the kid's face, each kid's face, and goes, in case you didn't know, it's a fun fact that oftentimes you can distort a reflection based on the type of mirror that it is. As they go to start to try to form the kids back into their normal selves.
Do you remember the magical effect that you pitched off of Knowledge is Power earlier?
Narcissus?
You asked for a healing effect off of that.
I did.
Specifically for this very purpose. And this is the very tail end of that duration being active. And as Libris gently works their faces, Libris would effectively stitch them back together with pod fingers. It's like they're going to have marks from this. They're going to be scarred from this. But the wounds are closing. And as Libris is doing this, and Verdo dumps in the poison, Syriac looking at the sky, head throbbing with the kind of like post-migraine aftershocks, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
You would all feel your Enclave badges ping. Final actions. We will begin with Syriac.
Let the other two go first.
Sure. We will begin then with Libris. Final actions upon feeling your badge ping. What would you like to do before teleporting back?
As they like finish molding the last kid's nose relatively straight, as straight as you can with pod fingers, they look up to the kids and say, you mentioned earlier about having grains and truth in all folk tales. Every culture has a story about reflections and water and entities and beings and portals. Maybe this time this is a tale that you need to spread among your friends. That sometimes all curiosity can kill the cat.
Excellent. Verdo, final actions at the side of the lake after dumping in the poison and feeling your badge ping.
Well, I look at the water and wonder what's going on with the water since I just put poison in it.
Yep, the poison is rippling out already across the lake. You can see that the duckweed that's close to the lake's edge is already starting to have trouble with it.
But like the lake itself, is there any bubbling or fizzing?
You don't see bubbling, you don't see hissing, but you do see that it's not even trying to imitate you anymore. Not even a little blotch is forming.
So it's just poisoned water now. It's just
Seems
water
like
full of
that.
poison. Seems like it's just water full of poison. Well, I actually just to make sure that the poison's really in there, I take my steel pipe that I used to smash the water. I just kind of stir the poison in the water a little bit just to make sure it's really in there.
The water behaves like water, by the way. It splashes, it sloshes, it ripples, and you see little tendrils of the awful murky brown poison swirling out across the lake. And lastly, Syriac, final actions.
He's just lying there, and he like
Throbbing.
feels the recoil of fully re-entering himself again, just like. And I like to imagine water coughs up from his throat.
That's actually
As
really
if
cool.
he
I was
as if
not
he
going
was
to do that, but I
underwater.
kind of like it actually. So
As
yes,
if he
we'll do
was
it.
underwater the whole time. And then he just like looks up, he sits up, sees Fox person Libris
Fixing
Yeah.
the boys' faces, sees Verdo
giant
stirring the
cyborg.
poison,
Yep.
stirring poison into the pond, and is just looking at them and like, he like stands up, goes over to Verdo and looks at him and just goes, "Don't ever let me do anything that stupid ever again." And he smacks his badge and pings out in his grasp.
And on that note, we will end the mission.
Yeah.
Nicely done, guys.
And don't go
We won.
anywhere.
Okay,
we'll
good.
be right back with a little conclusion after this break.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
There we go. Hello and welcome back. You
right.
just saw the exciting conclusion, and let's do the wrap up after the conclusion.
Certainly, yeah. So first of all, nicely done, everyone. I wanted to make sure that we have time to do a Q&A
Of
so
course.
that you guys can ask any question you had about calls that I made or the plot of the mission, and then we'll dive into other stuff. Because obviously, this was an opaque, intricate puzzle mission that I do not often give to people for coming in for their first time. But Dippy's been around a while. I had a feeling he'd get what I was going for at the very least, and you guys did brilliantly. So, do you guys have any questions about calls that I made or the plot of the mission, especially some of the strange secrets about it?
No.
I guess I had one point postulated that I wanted to see if there's a way to do it without killing the entity. Would that have been an option, or would I have been really
possible, but it would have been still very dangerous.
We would have had to get like a cup of the water, maybe. Like we would have had to contain some of the water and be like, "You're my pet water cup now."
So my original thought was to take that concept of reflections being kind of a portal and taking my reading glasses and sticking them in the water to transfer the entity from the lake
Such a cool idea. Oh, by the way,
to the reading glasses.
yeah,
And have it it's just here with me now.
Yeah.
All the goddamn time. We're just beat bopping around.
You perfectly picked up the fact that the reading glasses helped you not look at the water.
That's
was
really
huge,
good.
by the way. Huge. Okay, yeah. Phonze, you got some.
So what exactly was it? Just the lake was cursed? Was it like it was going only after youths? So
The thing about it is that the way that I had it is I was styling it after classic folklore, right? And in a lot of classic folklore, adults can't get magic. You know, like they can't find it.
They
But
don't
in this
Polar
case,
Express,
but the
Polar
thing-
Express with the bell.
Bingo. But the
Yeah.
thing is, it's not that the magic isn't real, it's that they can't find it. So if you happen across it, it'll affect you regardless. You know what I mean? And to that end, in terms of what it was, you guys mostly figured it out. It was a strange entity that it itself was a lake. It was a reflection thief. But every single one of its precise mechanics and logistics, I will keep under my hat, with a few exceptions, unless you want to specifically hear about exact ones.
A thought that I had in the middle of the mission was one that we discussed when we were on the ad break was you can't see your reflection if you jump in the water. I had a thought multiple times that Syriac has 3 skill, 2 sensory, 2 will, like could have combined some amount of what he already has to very gently and carefully dip into the water without disturbing it. Like without letting ripples form. You can dunk your hand into a pond of water and not cause it to ripple.
And I'll give you another thing too, is that this water, the way I described it as being like eerily still and rippleless, that would have been the case if you had entered it gently as well, to the point where I think even though Syriac would have been in wild amounts of danger doing that, Verdo would not have. And so if you guys had come to the conclusion of trying to get Verdo to very slowly enter the water to not make ripples, there was a play there.
I'm curious what would have happened if he did go in and like if it's like he went under the water and like see if there was like an entity or something
Yeah,
taking.
exactly. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but the way I looked at it is all of you guys were non-human. And so I wanted to make a mission that played with your non-humanness in different ways. For example, I don't know if this was picked up, by the way, but Syriac and Libris, the lake had a harder time copying them than the humans, and it had a much harder time. In fact, it was pretty much impossible for it to copy Verdo. And it's because of biologicalness as well as familiarity. It's like, okay, humans, I've gotten those before. These things look like animals, kind of. I've done animals. What the hell is that?
Who the fuck are you?
Yeah, exactly. So it just could
What are
not copy.
those?
What is that?
And in the same way that Verdo tested the poison with his mech parts, that was part of the relevancy of going into the water. If he had even just bringing his mech parts into the water, could have been
Was the
relevant
water
too.
itself
So
toxic? Like if we had stepped
not-
into the water
not
itself?
toxic per se, but dangerous. Yes.
Okay.
Um,
Not like
and-
like mercury is what I'm kind of thinking of. Is like if we had gotten into the water, would it have been like poisonous to the skin like mercury, or like
not
was
in the
it
same
just,
way, but
like-
it would have been wildly dangerous, and Verdo's mech parts would have been immune.
right.
So once again, it was me trying to find ways to like play with your non-humanness.
Okay.
yeah. Similarly, to briefly go through all of you, starting with Verdo. First of all, Phonze, beautifully done. Like I said, I would not have imagined this was your first tabletop game.
Yeah,
you
it's
did
my
great.
first time.
You did great fundamentals, figuring out, okay, I'm going to try this thing. I'm going to position myself here. What do I have at my disposal? All right, I'm going to use my mech part to test the poison. Very solid stuff. And even things like, okay, what happens if I pull the guys away? Okay, what happens if I do this? These are really important things to do when you're testing out like a puzzle of some kind. So that was really well done. The metal pipe, could not imagine how relevant that would have been, but that was sick. Yeah. Put it together really nicely, made pretty good use of your stats too. Great stuff overall. And thank you for trying the game out, man.
Yeah, it's fun.
Along similar lines, Libris, nice uses of your abilities. The knowledge is power at the beginning ended up being super relevant. You made better use of the quill pen on this mission than almost any librarian I've ever seen. It's certainly any
Really?
first timer. And then you also got a very clean play out of your reading glasses too. I thought that the back and forth conversation was good. You even got a poem for me. I'm very impressed. So yeah, just nice stuff all around. And I know it's a lot of decisions to make, but you did a great job tackling them.
Thank you.
And lastly, Dippy, I wanted to fuck with you. So
So that's
Hey.
why Syriac was trapped by the lake. Got it.
so I was,
Got
'cause
it.
I was like, I'm going to give a puzzle mission that I know Syriac can do. And I know Dippy will find where his place is, but he's going to be like, okay, Robbie, what the fuck are you trying to do?
Yeah,
Um,
there was
and
a
if-
part.
but you figured it out. You're like, aha, noise. I'm playing with a part of the gunslinger's kit that isn't often talked about. Noise. And how shooting can
That's-
spook something.
That's incredible.
You also figured out the smoke bomb play. Great. I also was trying to give something for your will stat to do. You figured that out. Brilliant. Great use of your luck stat. And the fact that you let yourself get trapped in such a narratively perfect time in such a dramatic fashion was marvelous, played perfectly into your plans, and was enough of a downside that I just wanted to give you stuff. So that's like textbook good Enclave play. Make something bad happen to yourself that actually serves your better interests, and also get more like kudos in the process to get away with other stuff. Textbook good play.
The
Great
moment-
standoffs as well.
The moment that he fired the gun and saw the reflections in the water after the gun was fired, even when they weren't there before, it was the moment that I went, I have to get trapped in the lake. I have to do it. I have to get sucked in, because I can't do it from the outside. I have to do it from the inside.
There was another funky thing I was thinking about, maybe you guys doing too, which is it was possible to break the surface of the lake at far parts of it without the ripples going far, because it was getting
Mhm.
very thick and like unctuous, right?
Mhm.
And so shooting different parts of the lake was another play I thought that he might try. And there was a play there, but it was tricky.
You goddamn lake!
Yeah, exactly.
Literally, Hick shooting
anyway, I
water with
started blasting.
revolver. Yeah. Syriac just starts blasting the water with one of his guns.
You're
I was,
killing all
course-
my lilies.
you know,
And of course the trick shot at the end was sick. Really awesome trick shot.
I thought while I was underwater, there was a part of me that was like, if Syriac's reflection has his gun on him as well, he will shoot the surface of the water if no one else does. Like,
Oh yeah, I thought you were gonna do that. The lake was ready for that one though, because it saw how the gun worked, and it was like, no. But the necklace, it doesn't give a shit about that. That doesn't make noise. So you tricked the lake by giving the youths kind of again a tether back to reality.
that was exactly what I wanted to happen. I just wanted
Beautifully
them.
done.
I just wanted the people trapped under the water to have something to look at other than themselves.
Precisely. Yep. Yeah. What you got, Phonze?
I was gonna say that's one thing I noticed too, is the lake had no effect on me, and the noise. That's why I was like, steel pipe walking stick. Let's make noise.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Precisely. You picked up on that so well. So in summary, really well done. In case it wasn't wildly obvious, let me just go through how I use the focus words. Water. Yup. Check.
Yeah.
Troublemaker. Both the fact that I kind of based it off like whimsical folklore monsters that are kind of like, it's not like malicious, right? It's just fucking
Yeah.
It's a miscreant, right?
Yeah.
But and also the fact that they were going to dump Deet in the lake, like that's,
Yeah.
It made me think of like, okay, how would a bunch of like young people respond to like one of their friends going missing and they're convinced that it's like a monster in the lake? I'd be like, well, I know what I would have done.
Dumped a bunch of poison in the lake.
But yeah, that was what gave me the idea for that side of the plot. And then lastly,
To be clear, if they had dumped poison in the lake before we had done that miraculous, like, save the two boys from the lake thing, those two boys would have just died.
Turbo Dead and whoever actually
Turbo
poured it in would absolutely have seen their own thing as well, because you notice the two that had the can, they weren't able to pour it in before they got trapped.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just been one after another. Oh, let me do it. Oh, let me do it.
Right.
Then
Yeah.
you know, all straight.
Okay, yeah.
So yes, and then the last one was stop observing my art or I'll die. Now, I played with this one in a couple of ways. Obviously, because if they stopped looking at themselves, they would die, as well as the fact that the lake itself didn't really have a true form, and it taking other people's forms was kind of like making art, stealing their faces, so to speak, right? Even the way it kind of bloomed their faces into being was the way I was thinking about it. So it wasn't literally, or I'll die, because the lake wasn't going to die if you stopped observing it, but it did rely on people looking at it, and it didn't want people to look away from their own reflections. So it wasn't like a direct one-to-one use of the focus word, but you can see where
I figured that it was a very fucking abstract focus word.
it was a very, and I gave you a very abstract mission because of it.
Yeah.
So that's why you
I was
asked
like
us
prepared
those?
for Syriac to like say some shit about the doodles.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, Phonze, what were you saying?
So focus words, those were what you were using to build the mission?
Yep, that's what I used, and that's exactly how
I thought that
tied
was
them
like
in.
like we have to say that word to do ability or something. I
Nope,
didn't know that.
that is that is
I was
me
like,
drawing
when do I say
inspiration.
water to do a spell?
Yeah, the focus words come purely into the design of the mission. Your abilities are activated through paired actions, like you describing your character doing something.
Oh, like me with the steel pipe.
Yeah, exactly. Or in this case, if you were to like, let's say you were to use the Wanderer ability by the wayside, which is something I thought you might try. And that ability requires you like finding a random object and being like, ooh, this is pretty cool. And so that's the paired action for the ability is like finding something cool, especially something that's kind of overlooked. Whereas for Syriac, the paired action for standoff is like slowing your movements in the face of incoming threat and calming down and being like really level in the face of opposition. Or for the librarian ability fun fact, you have to announce the fact aloud and share it with someone. So yes, that's the difference between paired actions and focus words. So yes, those were the focus words you gave me and how I use them. Do you guys have any other questions for me or any thoughts on Enclave now that you've played? Though admittedly, this was a rather unusual first mission. I am not usually this mean on first missions.
No, it's because Robbie knew that he had at least 2 experienced TTRPG players he could fuck with.
Yes,
so.
quite.
I'm definitely open to playing again.
Sick. I'm glad to hear it, man. Thank you very much for taking the time.
Like
to
as
try
my
the
first
part.
experience, like the thing that it's entirely narrative driven. There's no dice. There's no checks. It's just entirely up to the conduit, right?
Yep, that's what the term we use.
or the dungeon master, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah,
I prefer your chaos coordinator. Thank you very much.
It's
there you go.
Yeah, it's entirely up to more than anything else common sense. If you try something and it makes sense, it's gonna work. Period. And only in like the weird borderline cases am I gonna be like, what would be correct here? And that's why when Dippy did that kind of crazy Hail Mary thing of being like, okay, I want my reflection to go, and I'm like, that's really cool. That sounds kind of appropriate for like the world going on, but much more importantly, Dippy did such a cool job setting it up and penalizing himself and doing all this sick stuff that I was like, hell yeah, I'm not gonna say no. That's awesome.
Common sense comes into play if I say I want to whack my steel pipe in the water.
Bong.
Yeah.
Big bong. And then
Bong.
like based on the fact that you've seen the like jump when there's a big sound, yeah, of course, that's what's gonna happen. Period. No chance of that failing. Do you guys have any other thoughts or questions before we wrap up?
We need a mission name.
We do need a mission name, that's true. I think fortunately there's a pretty easy one here, which is Reflection Thief.
Yeah. I was thinking of
Curse of Narcissus.
I was thinking of I'm starting with the men in the mirror.
That's funny. Dear. What was Stealthy? What was yours?
I was gonna say Narcissus Effect.
Oh, Narcissus Effect is pretty good, actually.
Narcissus Effect.
I kind of like that. Let's do that. All right. And what you do is just put that down on your character sheet. And whenever you play them again, if you decide to play them again, they will have gone on one mission. And as you go on more, you will level up. You can get new gear. You can improve your character. But you don't have to play this character again if you don't want to. You can make a new one, or you can play them again in like a freaking year or something, and it will still work just as well.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. In that case, thank you guys once again for playing. I really appreciate you taking the time. Thank you, Dippy, for having me.
Of
I
course,
will
Robby.
pass it over to you to wrap us up.
Well, I wanted to wrap up real quick while we still had you here by you just finalizing, putting a point on why we're doing this. There is a new edition of the game coming out, so tell the VOD viewers and the live viewers where they can go to enjoy the game. I hinted at it at the beginning, but you can lay it out a little bit more here. Just any Enclave resources you want to point to, we will point to them appropriately.
To check out Enclave Aspirant on Kickstarter, I've given you guys the link, but if you search Enclave Aspirant, you should be able to find it right the heck away. And it's going to be a massive new expansion of the game and a relaunch of the core rule set. Going to have a lot of cool stuff for you guys, and I'm really excited to share it.
And if you want to purchase the game now, then there is a Etsy link for Robby's page.
I'd say even better than that would be join our Discord, because that way you can try the game for free. We give out temp copies over that,
exactly,
for you to play with through events and similar. And though if you do end up buying the game before the Kickstarter, then when the Kickstarter releases and finishes, you will get a PDF of the new version of the first of the core rule set for free. So you won't have to buy the same book twice.
Exactly.
Yay.
And
for everybody in the ANIpod Discord or whatever, I'm going to have a post later tonight that will have all of these links neat and probably under the announcements section. So
thank you very much.
There.
To step away from Robby into my others for a second, Stealthy, Phonze, it's so good to have you finally playing the game that I've been jabbering on about for so long.
I'm sorry. I tried so hard to make Enclave Day, but life happened, my friend.
It's all right. That's perfectly fine.
I'm your roommate. You practically forced me.
listen.
He's literally
I see that poster in there.
Audience.
I know. That's actually signed by Rob, so that's really good. Yeah. But other than that, what am I forgetting? Life advice. We always end off our Dapper D's episodes by offering up a piece of either serious or jokey life advice. You can go either direction, either way, it's fine. And also media pick of the week. So if there is a piece of media that you have consumed, song, book, movie, etc., that you like, you can recommend it. And it will be recommended in the server. It will be put into a list on the Nation server as well. So, cool. I'll start with my recommendation, and we'll get the ball rolling from there. What is a movie that I have seen recently that I would recommend? Oh, excuse me. I would say that I would want people to try and go and watch. I'm actually going to look a little further back. Oh, yeah. So I recently watched The Taking of Pelham 123, which is a movie about...
the new one or the original?
I watched both, but okay. I'm actually recommending the remake. Because if you are low attention span, new generation type person, the remake actually tickles your brain a little bit more than the original one does. They have the same plot, they have the same kind of resolution, but by the end of it, I actually enjoyed the remake more. So that recommendation will be for The Taking of Pelham 123, 2009, not 1983 or whatever the original one was. And I will be recommending that to you. I don't know if you can stream it anywhere, but if you find it somewhere, then please watch it. I actually liked it a lot. And whoever wants to come up with another one, you absolutely may.
Mine is a lot trashier than that. I haven't watched Minecraft content in literally a decade, but I got randomly served that video you probably have too, the 2.5 hour one of like 1,000 players in Minecraft making civilization with permadeath. It was
Oh,
fucking great.
I actually haven't
I
seen that one
I
yet.
watched it with my wife. We marathon that shit 2.5 hours. It was incredibly good. I don't care if it was staged. It might be. Who gives a shit? It was awesome. Really well done. Very good YouTube video.
I have to 1,000 players simulate civilization in Minecraft.
It's the one that's newer. It's like 17 million views. He did a previous one that was like 37 million views.
Oh,
It's
1,000
very good.
players simulate civilization rich and poor.
Rich and Poor. That's the one. It was really good. Highly recommend.
Absolutely,
Nice.
yeah. Stealthy?
So outside of the books that we're reading for our book club,
Yes.
I am which that book is That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon. I need a really nice fluffy read after after Project Hail Mary. So that's what we're currently reading. Outside of that book though, I blame my husband for this one. Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Ditterman. That book is so funny. It's great. Essentially, surprise, surprise, humans aren't alone in the universe. Oh, and our world is going to be mined for resources. So if you want to live, go to this dungeon that we've created, and we're going to air your struggles of trying to get through this dungeon to the masses of the universe. Good luck. And this man has in nothing but his boxers and a leather jacket and some pink Crocs with his cat, and he has to survive the dungeon.
Oh my god.
And it's great.
Incredible.
It's so good.
And Phonze, any media that you would like to recommend to the lovely viewers?
Well, I'm going to recommend a YouTube video because number one, it's free, and number two, a lot of people have a smartphone computer, something that could easily watch this on.
Sure.
There is a about 30-minute long video called Timeless of the Future, A Journey to the End of Time by Melody Sheep. And it essentially is a 30-minute long ambient music video that shows the entire future.
Time lapse of the future, A Journey to the End of Time by Melody Sheep. Gotcha.
Yes, it's 30 minutes long, and we literally the first 40 seconds to a minute of the video is the rest of our lives. The other 28 minutes, everyone will be dead. And it's just scientifically, this is what scientists think the future of the universe will look like and what will happen.
Because we
and
get under
to think that the stuff in that video will happen probably is kind of like, good thing you won't be alive because it's scary.
All right. So the things that are easily accessible and have links, I provide links to them in the AniNation Discord server. And then life advice, and then upcoming schedule, and then we'll get out of here. My life advice is going to be, oh gosh. I think the first time we did an Enclave episode, my life advice was go play Enclave. No, that's contrived. If you, there is nothing wrong with doing something that you love when you feel like you have nothing else to do. Go out and look at birds. Go outside and just touch the grass, lay in the grass. Go find a book and just turn to a random page and read it or whatever. Just if you feel like you have nothing better to do, then do something that you love and your mind will refocus. Oh, do you want your... There you go. I got your video turned off in case for you, Phonze. No worries.
We're good.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, I think so.
I got one. At least once a week, brush your teeth with baking soda. it tastes pretty gross, but it's a fraction of the cost, and it's a great abrasive, which is really good for getting tartar off.
Mm.
No fluoride, nothing like that, if that's something you care about. But I like it because it's cheap.
I think
And
last time you were here, you recommended replacing your shampoo with baking soda as well.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Baking soda is just good for everything. I highly recommend it. It's a magical substance.
Nothing to
Maybe I
stop
should have looked in my satchel and see if there was baking soda in my satchel and then put that in the lake.
Oh my
Honestly, you could
God.
have convinced me that could have done it.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, know
Note to
your
self for
audience.
future reference.
And for me, baking soda is a magical substance that I will attribute supernatural ability to.
Phenomenal.
My life advice. Here lately, it's just you know what? Life is short. Just go fucking do it. That thing you always wanted to do, just go fucking do it. You know, whatever.
Life is short.
That's
just go
it.
do
Life is
yeah.
short. Just fucking do it.
There you go. And Phonze?
Save your money.
So awesome.
Don't be. You might see that paycheck. Don't be frivolous. Don't go out and spend it, because that's what I'm trying not to do.
That was great. I liked that one.
So, upcoming schedule this week.
I have that posted.
Yes.
Sorry. I'm proud
That
of
is
myself.
posted in the server. Isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, it is.
There it is. So, upcoming schedule. On Thursday, we will have an episode of our Thursday game run by the lovely Brett, Moonlit Mist. On Friday, we will have an episode of my campaign that I run, The Inquisition. And then next Monday, you will see us back here on the Dapper Ds once again with me running a game. Hopefully, for Dadley and Dono will be back, and a veteran player on the Enclave server has agreed to join us for that. Mal will be playing. Will be playing in that mission to kind of get a player's perspective on Enclave and the new stuff that's coming to Enclave as well.
Awesome.
But after that, I'm not sure. So tune in for those. Once
Tuesday.
again, yeah, and the Tuesday after that, the Tuesday after the second Enclave month episode, we will have another episode of the second chapter of Strahd and Coffee, run by Stealthy.
Dave are allowing them to let me torture them. It's great. You're not the only mean conduit, Robby.
Chaos Conduit. There you go.
Ooh, I like that one. It might be in my new stick next week.
There
Cool.
you go. So, until then, thank you so much for watching. Go check out all of the Enclave materials that we are putting in the description of this episode and all the other ones that will have Enclave in them. And until next time, thank you so much for watching. I've been Dippy.
I've been Robby. Thanks for having me.
I'm dangerously stealthy.
I'm Phonze.
And until next time, your adventure matters. Stay dapper and roll your initiative. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.